On day 1, I spawned in as a Pokemon Creeper.
Creeper!
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried for a second I'd only be able to say my own name. That takes some of the sting off being a baby with 5 hearts. I checked my inventory and found that I had a Pokedex guidebook. This would help me recognize all the other Pokemon I encountered. I looked at my surroundings. I was in some kind of forest. Not quite the Kanto region, but I could still explore. Further into the forest, among some tall grass, I discovered some more Creeper Pokemon, just like me.
Creeper!
Oh, I guess you guys aren't so talkative. That's fine. I'm sure I can find a trainer who will talk to me. But instead of a friendly Pokemon trainer, instead, a really scary bug-type Pokemon called a Deathworm popped out of the ground. Let's get out of here, guys!
Creeper!
We scattered off into the forest to avoid the Deathworm. I hid out behind some trees for the rest of the night. On day 2, I ventured out of my hiding spot, convinced that the Deathworm was gone. I hope I don't run into one of those again. Guess it isn't easy being a Creeper Pokemon, but at least I wasn't alone in being a Creeper Pokemon. While I was wandering around the Forgotten Forest, I found an evolved Creeper Pokemon. Oh wow, is that what I'm gonna look like when I evolve? I couldn't be more excited.
Creeper!
Well, even if I'm a baby Creeper Pokemon, at least I can talk. But I couldn't stand around for long. A deadly Fire-type Pokemon, the Cockatrice, came out of the trees and attacked. It breathed a jet of fire onto my new evolved Creeper friend, destroying him in an instant. And if it could do that to an evolved Creeper, I'd be in real trouble. I ran away as fast as I could. Later, I arrived in the lush red desert, far, far away from the Cockatrice and the Deathworm. Here, I could maybe build myself a home. Let's get building. I found some trees and knocked them down, collecting enough wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and a wooden sword. These are pretty useless, but I guess everyone has got to start somewhere. With my extra wood, I started building my own wooden base to give me shelter from the elements. It felt nice to finally sleep indoors for once. On day 3, I went out to the meadows, wondering if I could beat some more Pokemon who wanted to come stay at my base. Instead, I found something even cooler, a Pokemon trainer. I ran over to him, so excited to finally have someone I could talk to. Hey, I'm Zozo. I'm a Creeper Pokemon. It's so cool to meet you. Oh wow, a Pokemon that can talk. You don't see that every day. I haven't seen a Pokemon trainer here yet either. Maybe we should team up. I'd love to, but I think I might need to become a more experienced Pokemon trainer before we can truly team up. But when I get there, I'll know where to find you. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was a start. I started to head back to my base and used my wooden pickaxe to dig up a bunch of stone, which I used to improve my base and build myself a stone sword and a stone pickaxe. Before the day was out, a Pokemon called a Zoglin attacked me, and I was able to easily defeat it with my stone sword. After I defeated it, it dropped some rare candy on the floor, and I quickly collected it. This candy will come in handy later. From day 4 to day 5, I woke up and felt ready to eat that delicious rare candy I'd collected from the Zoglin the previous night. It's been a long week. I think I've earned a little treat. The second I ate the rare candy, I felt myself evolving and getting stronger. I got bigger. I now had 30 hearts and a brand new attack to use on enemy Pokemon, Fire Breath. Whoa, it looks like I'm a Fire-type Pokemon too! I spent the rest of the day in the Mojave Desert, which was even hotter than the one around my base. It was sandy everywhere, so I collected some sand blocks to use later. Then, I ran into a sandwich.
Hey there, little Creeper Pokemon. I actually saw a few more of your kind not far from here. You should go see them.
So I did. I searched around until I found a little group of Creeper Pokemon just like me. I was so happy.
Creeper!
Yeah, Creeper. How about you guys come and stay at my base? Us Creeper Pokemon should stick together for safety. We returned to my base in the lush red desert and found that a Wither was waiting outside. This wasn't good. Stand back, guys. I'll deal with this. I ran in and used my new Flame Breath to destroy the Wither. Being a Fire-type Pokemon was a lot of fun. From day 6 to day 8, I met up with the Pokemon trainer again, and we went exploring together, searching for some food. And not long after finding some, we went into a nearby underground cavern to do a little bit of mining. It's super dark in here. Don't worry, trainer, I can light the way. I breathed a jet of fire and lit up our way, seeing some iron ore in the blocks beneath us. I grabbed my stone pickaxe and started mining until I collected some ore. We built a furnace in the underground cavern and used the ore to create an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Now I'm stronger than I've ever been! With our new equipment in hand, we went to the oasis to relax and spent some time in the sun next to the nice cool water. But not everything was so peachy in the oasis. We were suddenly attacked by a giant monster known as the Hydra. Even with all my new equipment and my fire-breathing power, I couldn't hurt him at all.
Get out of here, Zozo! I'll take care of him! You need to get to safety!
So I did, because it was all I could do. My Pokemon trainer and the Hydra fought until, in the end, neither of them remained. No! I started heading back alone. I felt so terrible. I'd lost everything. But on the way back, I ran into a friendly Myrmex queen.
Hello, little creeper Pokemon.
Hey, sorry if I seem a little down right now. I just lost a friend of mine.
Goodness, you can talk? That's incredible. I didn't know creeper Pokemon could talk.
Me neither. I might be the only one.
Well, if you lost your friend, perhaps I'll come stay with you. You shouldn't be alone on a night like this.
I would love that, Myrmex Queen. The Myrmex Queen and I returned to my base, and I created a new room for her to stay in. It was nice to finally have someone to stay with me who could actually talk. From day 9 to day 10, I woke up to find someone waiting outside my base. It was a huge, scary-looking Dread Knight, and he was here for me. Who are you?
I'm your worst nightmare. I'm the strongest Pokemon gym leader in the overworld, and that Hydra you and your friend destroyed, that was one of my prized Pokemon.
It destroyed my friend, and it attacked us first, too. How could you blame us for what happened?
Don't pity yourself. Not yet. When I'm done with you, you're gonna have something to really pity. Mark my words, you sad little creeper Pokemon. I'm going to get you.
And then he was gone, leaving me confused and afraid, not knowing what would happen next. From day 11 to day 12, I was woken up by the Myrmex Queen. She seemed incredibly excited to see me.
Zozo, I know that losing your friend was very hard for you, so I made you something that might help you process what happened. Come and see.
I came out and saw what the Myrmex Queen had created, a memorial for the fallen Pokemon trainer, so we'd always be able to remember him. This is amazing, Myrmex Queen. Thank you. Let's go traveling together. We went out to the orchard, where I hoped I might be able to find some food that would make me stronger. Instead, we just found an angry siren who didn't want to have our company. Being attacked while just going on a walk really gets me fired up. I breathed fire on the siren, defeating it, and the Myrmex Queen and I continued searching for ways to get stronger. That's when we met a friendly troll, and I decided to ask him.
Wow, a talking Pokemon. That's exciting. If you want to get stronger, you can seek out Professor Oak. He's an expert when it comes to Pokemon, and I've heard he's got a clinic somewhere out in the meadows.
Professor Oak? Now that sounds like an idea. I'll need all the help I can get to be strong enough to defeat the Dread Knight. Wanna come stay at my base in the meantime?
Sure, that sounds like fun.
We went back to my base with the troll, and I built a new room for him to stay in. I wasn't so lonely now. From day 13 to day 15, I went off into the meadows to seek out Professor Oak. If that Dread Knight guy really was after me, I needed to get evolved as quickly as possible. While traveling through the meadows, though, I got attacked by a terrifying dragon-type Pokemon, the Lightning Dragon. There's no way I'm ready to face that thing. The Lightning Dragon was heading straight towards me. I tensed up and prepared to get destroyed, when suddenly a huge energy blast struck the side of the Lightning Dragon, defeating it and saving my life. When I turned and saw who fired the energy blast, it was just a tiny little pixie. I immediately ran over to thank her. You saved me there. I'm Zozo, and I'm so grateful for the help you gave me. If there's anything I can do, please let me know.
I'd always do whatever I can to help out a kind stranger. But sadly, I used up the last of my magical power to defeat that dragon. Do you think you could go and defeat the ghost-type Pokemon who's been haunting the meadow?
After the way you saved me there, it's really the least I could do. I traveled further into the meadow until I saw the spooky ghost type floating around. Thankfully, the undead hate fire, and with my fire-breathing power, I was soon able to defeat it. This ghost is toast. I then returned to the pixie to give her the good news and ask her if she knew anything about Professor Oak.
Thank you for the help, Zozo. Professor Oak is out of town on a research trip at the moment, but he'll be back in a week or so.
Thanks for the heads up. At least I was able to help here in the meantime. With that valuable info, I turned and started heading in the direction of my base. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to my base, only to find it was being attacked by a deadly Gorgon. I saw the friendly troll who told me about Professor Oak running at her, trying to defend the base. But it was hopeless. She destroyed him in one hit. No, Mr. Troll, you monster! I ran in to battle the Gorgon for what she'd done. I tried to hit her with my sword and my flame breath, but neither seemed to have an effect. She just laughed at me.
You sad little creeper Pokemon. Is that all you've got? Wow, the Dread Knight is wasting his time even sending me to destroy you. I've got better things to do. Later, loser.
With that, the Gorgon left, leaving me in the ruins of my base with another friend gone. At least I still had the Myrmex Queen, and she came to comfort me.
Don't worry, Zozo. We'll get back at them. And in the meantime, we'll repair the base and build back better.
I took the time to extinguish the fire around my base. Then, I returned to the underground cavern, mining more materials so I could make myself some iron armor. I can't afford to be unprotected right now. By the time I got back to my base, I found something exciting. The Myrmex Queen had invited over a bunch of Myrmex workers. They'd not only built a whole barracks for them to all live in, they'd also built a watchtower for us to keep a lookout for any more of the Dread Knight's henchmen. I ran over to the Myrmex Queen to thank her. This is amazing, Myrmex Queen. It's starting to really look like a base here.
You know what would make it even more like a base? A super cool statue.
That's an excellent idea. And in fact, I know exactly what to build. From day 20 to day 22, I was wandering around the prairie, looking for new friends and potentially new upgrades and gear. Instead, I found an angry Dread Scuttler. I really don't want to deal with this today. I defeated the Dread Scuttler with my iron sword and proceeded to collect a bunch of blocks that I could use to start building the statue. You'll never guess what it is. On my way back through the lush red desert to my base, I found a few sheep wandering around and decided to herd them back to my base. I built a paddock to house them all. This will be perfect for gathering wool for making banners. That's when the Myrmex Queen came over to me with some good news.
Hey Zozo, I got started on your statue, and I think it's coming along nicely. But it's gonna need those new materials you gathered next.
I'll add them right away. I ran in and continued work on the statue, getting it just a little further along with the new materials I'd collected. Can you guess what it is yet? Let me know down in the comments. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the meadow, hoping that this time I'd get a chance to speak with Professor Oak. He's gotta be back from his research trip by now. Just then, from out of the grass came an Enderman, a really dangerous Dark-type Pokemon. It swiped for me with its long arms, but I dodged and drew my sword. Prepare for battle! I used my Fire Breath attack to weaken the Enderman and finished it off with an Iron Sword strike. Before I could celebrate, two more Endermen jumped out and tried to pick up where the first one left off. I defeated them both with some difficulty. Not much later, I found a rare Ghost-type Pokemon known as a Ghast. Ghost types are weak against Dark types, so it must have been hiding from all the Endermen out here. Hey, Ghast, it would be safer if you came to live at my base. There are lots of friendly Bug-type Pokemon there now.
No thanks, Creeper Pokemon. Let's ghost hunt alone.
Then the Ghast vanished into thin air. I guess he was serious about being alone. I went back to searching, and soon I found a man in a lab coat standing in the meadow. Are you Professor Oak?
Why yes, I am the famous Professor Oak, world-renowned Pokemon expert. And who might you be?
I'm a creeper Pokemon, but I can talk. My friends call me Zozo.
Well, I've certainly met talking Pokemon before, but it's always an ultra-rare occurrence. Where's your trainer anyway?
That's the problem. I don't have one right now. I was hoping since you're a Pokemon expert, you could train me so I could become stronger.
I don't see why not. I've been meaning to do more research on creeper Pokemon regardless. Let's get started.
On day 27 to day 31, I trained with Professor Oak in order to increase the power of my moves in battle. I could definitely feel that my base stats were becoming stronger. You're not just an expert professor, you're an expert trainer.
My work is almost done here, Zozo. You'll be a fighting machine after you complete the last challenge of your hyper training.
If it means being strong enough to face the Dread Knight, I'll do whatever it takes.
Very good answer. Now I will present you with your challenge. You must defeat a Wild Ravager. It is a fighting-type Pokemon known for its merciless attacks. It will be a formidable foe, but if you're ready and you believe in your training, you should be able to win.
I won't let you down, Professor.
Here are some super potions that might help you recover your hearts in the battle.
Thanks! I went to where the wild Ravager could be found and took on the professor's challenge. Using everything I had learned so far on my journey, I battled the Ravager. It was a tough fight, and the Ravager's fighting moves were very strong. But I was strong now too, and I managed to hang in there and retaliate with some attacks of my own. I was down to low health, but I still managed to get the win. Good thing I had those super potions. From day 32 to day 35, I told Professor Oak that I had defeated the Ravager. He seemed very impressed with my progress.
Very good, Zozo. You are one powerful creeper Pokemon now.
Thanks, Professor. You really believed in me.
And you believed in yourself too. That's half the battle.
What's the other half, Professor?
Battle. Now take this league badge to prove that you've got what it takes to be a champ in the making.
All right! I decided to return home to base to tell the others the good news about my training. I had made it all the way back to the Mojave Desert when I saw the ghast from earlier, and they were in trouble.
Help! Help! An evil gym leader is trying to capture me!
Evil gym leader? That sounds like… Oh no, it is! The Dread Knight was here! I didn't expect that I'd run into him so soon.
Stop running away, Ghast! I'm trying to add you to my Pokemon team! A spooky ghost type would make an excellent addition!
The Dread Knight didn't see me yet. I could sneak up on him and attack. But what if I lost? I might have earned a league badge, but he was still a gym leader. For now, I have to retreat. Sorry, Ghast. If only you'd listened to me before. A little later, I was at the Oasis, still trying to find my way home, when I ran into a giant pig Pokemon, the Piglin Brute. No problem, pigs are usually normal type, so this should be a cinch. But it wasn't as easy as I expected. The Piglin Brute had so many hit points, and its attacks felt like critical hits. Oh no, am I too weak to fight this Pokemon too? I ran away from the battle and continued on for home where I thought I'd be safer. I couldn't believe that I was still so weak after all the training I did. From day 36 to day 39, I arrived home safe and sound, except the base wasn't safe or sound. It was being attacked by the Gorgon again. Oh no, last time I fought her, I barely did any damage.
We meet again, Zozo. Have you come home so you can lose to me again?
No way! If I don't step up and beat you now, the Myrmex Queen and all the others will be in danger.
Suit yourself. I'm going to enjoy this.
We began to battle, and once again, my fire breath and sword attacks were not very effective. And that's when it hit me. Gorgon must be a rock type, and that's why she has such high defenses. But there's one way to deal with rock types, a fighting type attack like Rock Smash. I unequipped my sword and attacked with my fists like a fighting type. Somehow, it actually damaged her.
What? I'm hit? Enjoy your victory while you can. You still aren't worth the trouble.
Gorgon left the base. I guess my training with Oak did pay off. The Myrmex Queen approached me, looking proud.
Zozo, you're back, and not a moment too soon. I just heard there was a power bracer in the lush red desert. If you could get it, you'd be able to upgrade your attack power to the next level.
That sounds like just what I need. We should go find it. I took Myrmex Queen with me, and the two of us went to the lush red desert to search for the power bracer. We didn't get far before we encountered another wild cockatrice. They must be really common for fire types. There was a villager in danger of getting scorched, so I stepped in to help out, striking the cockatrice down with my sword. Thank you for protecting me. You're one friendly Pokemon. Here's a map to the beach where you can find some treasure. Gee, thanks. We said goodbye to the villager and kept searching through the desert. We found the power bracer without needing to worry about another fight.
Great job, Zozo. Now let's return to base and get it equipped.
I got excited and I tried the power bracer on. It fit like a glove and I could feel the power already. We went back to our base afterwards. From day 40 to day 43, the Myrmex Queen and I decided to do a little bit more traveling. That villager we saved the other day had told us about a beach where we could get treasure, and that sounded just too good to pass up. The map we were given showed us the way to where the treasure was. We decided to take a route back through the Forgotten Forest, and that's where we encountered some more ghost-type Pokemon, a horde of skeletons. Hasn't the Dread Knight been catching ghost-type Pokemon? I'll bet these are his.
They can't beat us if we work together, Zozo.
Together, the Myrmex Queen and I reduced the Dread Knight skeletons to a bunch of bones. With all the upgrades I had gotten, it was no sweat. It looks like there was one we missed, and it's getting away. But I guess running from stronger Pokemon is what you'd expect them to do. We made our way out of the Forgotten Forest and into a rocky beach. This must have been the place where the treasure was. Sure enough, there was an open mining pit with a whole bunch of diamonds, ripe for the taking. Sweet! From day 44 to day 49, I was back home at my base, doing some training exercises by myself when Mermex Queen showed up. Hi, Mermex Queen!
Hi there, Zozo. I've done a bit more of my part to the statue. Do you mind adding some details to it when you get the chance?
Sure, I can actually do that right now. I went to the statue and began to add some special blocks in order to really make it look good. You can almost tell what it's going to be now. It'll be really exciting when it's complete. I worked on the statue for a bit longer before I noticed that a traveling trader had come to provide us with some hyper potions for the price of some emeralds.
These are some quality potions. You can trust me. Better than super potions, that's for sure.
We were running very low on healing items. I didn't have any emeralds on me, but luckily the queen had some and brought them from storage. That should do it. I bought the potions and thanked the trader for his service. The base was attacked again, right after he left by another dark Pokemon, a Wither. Good things I've been practicing my fighting moves. Hi-ya! Take that, evildoer! The Wither was defeated, but I knew I had to make sure the base was more defensible against enemy attacks. So I went and built a perimeter wall that would make it way more difficult for intruders to get in. From day 50 to day 53, I was collecting more supplies in a nearby prairie when one of the Mermex workers from the base came and found me. He told me that the Mermex Queen had been captured by a Pokemon trainer. Probably not a very nice one either. The Mermex Queen was a good friend to me, so I knew that I had to go search for her. But I also knew that I would need some help. I decided to go talk to the smartest person I knew, Professor Oak. He was an expert in all things Pokemon, and he might know what kind of trainer I'm looking for too. Fortunately, he happened to be close by and researching the local Pokemon. Professor, please, I need your help.
What seems to be the trouble, Zozo?
The Mermex Queen was captured by a Pokemon trainer, and I need to find her.
That is rather troubling. I would suggest looking for the bug catcher. He's the kind of trainer that specializes in capturing bug-type Pokemon.
That sounds like it's worth a shot. Thank you, Professor. The professor had given me a clue I could use to possibly find my friend. I would save her no matter what, even if I had to fight more skeletons. Speaking of, oh boy! There were some more of the Dread Knight's ghost-type skeleton Pokemon hanging around, but at this point in my journey, battling them wasn't much of a challenge. This time, I defeated every one of them all by myself, and one of them dropped another rare candy. I had better hang on to that for later. From day 54 to day 57, I was in the Mojave Desert again, searching for the bug catcher who might have captured the Mermex Queen. The bug catcher took my friend. They must be the worst. And as if on cue, the Dread Knight jumped out.
I wouldn't say that. After all, they can't be worse than me. I'm the worst of the worst.
Dread Knight, what are you doing here?
I like tormenting you. Everyone knows that it is always best to capture a Pokemon when it's weak.
Not as weak as I used to be, and now I'll show you! I gave the Dread Knight a few good hits with my sword. He didn't seem to be that hurt by it, but I could tell I was doing a bit of damage.
You do have some fight. I guess I'll have to weaken you a bit more before I capture you.
He countered with a strong attack that took off half of my hearts. I wasn't going to defeat him at this rate, but at least I had put a scratch on him. Time to run away! I escaped from the Dread Knight and definitely didn't want to have another fight so soon. Fortunately, I found the same friendly villager who told me about the treasure. Have you seen a bug catcher anywhere? Now that you mention it, I think he was in the prairie not too long ago. Try over there. Thanks. I went to the prairie, but I didn't find the bug catcher or the Mermex Queen. I did find a bug catching net on the ground and one of the Mermex Queen's eggs. Oh no, it's true. The bug catcher has captured my friend. I wanted to go after him, but there was no sign of which way he went or where he might be now. From day 58 to day 62, I returned to my base, frustrated by the lack of leads when it came to rescuing the Mermex Queen. The Mermex workers were worried sick about their queen. I had to set a good example, so I went mining for some stronger materials. I found more diamonds, and with these and the treasure I found on the beach, I was able to create a diamond helmet and diamond boots. With my remaining diamonds, I crafted a diamond sword to match my armor pieces. I knew they'd be much more useful if I enchanted them, so I built an enchanting area into the base so I could do just that. These diamond armor pieces will really boost my defense stats. I went back out searching for materials because items are just as important in Pokemon battles as abilities are. The underground cavern I was exploring was dark and full of rock and ground-type Pokemon. It also had a hidden treasure in the form of a battle axe. I gave the axe a few swings, and I could already tell how strong it was. I could do some really damaging moves with this thing. The battle axe worked really well on the rock types in the area, so I know it would prove effective on Gorgon too. I returned above ground to base and found that the ghast was waiting for me.
I have escaped to the Dread Knight, and I have some news for you.
What kind of news?
I've heard that the bug catcher is trying to become stronger so he can fight the Dread Knight. He's trying on the coast right now.
That actually helps. You're welcome to haunt the base. I'll be back later to help you settle in. For now, I'm gonna go save the queen. From day 63 to day 66, I gathered my strongest equipment and items and prepared to leave. While I was still there, Professor Oak showed up.
Hello, Zozo. Take this charged coal. You'll know when the right time to use this is.
Thanks, Professor. I might be gone for a while, so watch the base for me until I get back. I headed off in the direction of where the bug catcher was training. Like most Pokemon trainers, bug catcher seemed to move around a lot. Hopefully, I would reach where he was before he moved on to a new region. I didn't stick around too long in any of the places I went before, but I did encounter a wither. Let's try out that charcoal. The charcoal made my fire attack stronger, and I was able to wipe out the wither in a single fire attack. Wow, Zozo! That was an impressive fire-type attack. Do you think you could help me light up the fireplace in my house? What are friends for? The villager showed me his cabin at the oasis. I lit the fireplace up so that he could get comfortable and stay warm. That was really helpful. I'll sure to do something nice for you next time, friend. From day 67 to day 70, I found the bug catcher on the rocky beach, and the Myrmex Queen was with him. It looked like they were both in the middle of a Pokemon battle with the Dread Knight's skeletons. Myrmex Queen, I traveled all this way to save you from the bug catcher.
Zozo, a friendly face! Give me a hand dealing with these skeletons!
I swung my diamond sword over and over at the skeletons, destroying them one by one. I am the Creeper Pokemon! Fear me! While Myrmex Queen and I battled, some of the skeletons snuck up behind the bug catcher and took him out.
Well, so much for that trainer.
Didn't he capture you?
No, I went with him to try and trained to fight Dread Knight on my own.
You were training, like me?
I thought I could solve your problem for you, but I'm sorry for worrying you.
We're back together, and that's what matters. Nothing can keep friends like us apart. Now let's take apart the rest of these skeletons. With our combined strength, Myrmex Queen and I finished off the skeletons. The last one to fall dropped a spell tag, an enchantment which gives ghost-type power to items. I should use this later. From day 71 to day 74, I returned to the base with the Myrmex Queen. We were greeted by Ghast, who had decided to stay after all, and had even built a place for himself.
Looks like the rescue mission worked out.
Sure did. The Myrmex workers have their queen back now, and it looks like the base is now feeling a lot more like home.
Thank you for letting me live here, even though I said I didn't want to at first. Do you want to see the place I built?
Sure thing. The Ghast took me to his ghost-type Pokemon room. It was full of spooky things and sort of made me want to eat candy. This looks awesome!
Professor Oak has also decided to move his research lab into the base. You should go see.
Sure enough, Professor Oak had created a place for himself inside the base.
I'm going to get so much work done here. Your base is very advanced, Zozo.
Wow, everyone has really stepped up their crafting game. I'd better do the same. I went mining for some more diamonds to complete my set of diamond armor and tools. I used the spell tag that the skeletons dropped to enchant my diamond sword with ghost-type energy called Lifesteal. When it was finished, I went to the outside of the base, where the villager was waiting for me. Hey, Zozo! I decided I'd come over and say hello. Hi, villager! From day 75 to day 78, I followed the villager back to his cabin at the oasis. I had a feeling he was going to repay me for that time I helped him. Here, Zozo, I have a gift for you because you've been so nice to me. I knew it! I mean, thanks! It's a moonstone. Try holding it and see how your power evolves. Oh, super awesome! I held the moonstone and instantly learned some more powerful moves to use in battle. I went outside and battled a few cockatrice to test out my powers. My fire breath had leveled up into a fire blast attack. Even fire types can't take the heat now. From day 79 to day 84, I made some minor improvements to the base. Now that everyone was calling it home, I had to make sure that everyone was taken care of. There were some spare materials lying around, so I crafted a set of iron armor for the Myrmex Queen.
Wow, thanks, Zozo. I guess I'm a bug type and a steel type now.
You've always helped me in battle, but now you'll have stronger defenses for when we fight the Dread Knight's stronger minions.
I'll do my best in our next battles. Thank you for thinking of me.
After I finished talking with the Mermex Queen, I realized that improving the base had left me short of some key materials, so I went searching for them. While I was out in the rose fields, I encountered a familiar, unfriendly face. It was the Gorgon!
Your armor and weapons have changed, but you're still weak.
What do you know, Gorgon?
I know a lot more than you do about everything, including what Dread Knight is going to do next.
What is he gonna do next?
He'll become a Pokemon Master, of course. An evil Pokemon Master. Once he's done trying to capture weaklings like you.
You can call me weak all you want, Gorgon, but I don't need to prove anything to you. I'm going home. From day 85 to day 89, I left the Rose Field and returned to my base, where the Dread Knight was lying in wait.
Gorgon told me I needed to end our little cat and mouse game, so I've come here to capture you once and for all.
If it's a battle you want, it's a battle you'll get. The Dread Knight attacked with his usual opening move, but I was ready for it, so I dodged. I struck him back with my ghost-enchanted diamond sword. It seemed to deal some real damage.
A ghost weapon? Well, that's new. Guess I don't need to hold back.
His next strike was a brand new move I had never seen before. It left me completely defenseless. Oh no, what should I do? Then I remembered I was still carrying the charged coal that Professor Oak gave me. Maybe if I used it correctly, I could evolve. The last time I needed a rare candy for that, and I have one. I know, I'm gonna use them both at once. I activated the rare candy and the charged coal together, and suddenly I evolved into a brand new Creeper Pokemon form with 80 hearts!
Evolution? And so strong as well?
I believe we have a battle to finish!
Some other time, Zozo.
The Dread Knight deployed his skeleton minions and ran away, but I was eager to test out my new powers on the Horde. I had a new signature move called Falling TNT, which dropped exploding TNT blocks on enemy Pokemon. Those skeletons were dust, and the base was completely safe. From day 90 to day 94, Mermex Queen had almost completed the statue that she had been building the entire time. Wow, it's amazing, Mermex Queen!
It'll be even more amazing after you add the finishing touches. I have confidence that you'll make this statue look as incredible as I know it will. No pressure.
It took a lot of materials, and I had to mine for more several times, but in the end, the statue stood triumphantly over the base. It was a statue of Arceus, the mightiest and most ancient creator god of all Pokemon. I am humbled to be in your presence, Arceus. Next on my list of things to do was help Professor Oak become stronger so that he could help me fight against the Dread Knight. I decided to give him a potion of strength.
Thank you. And speaking of potion, you should go get some more healing potions from that merchant. We have a few more emeralds, and that should be enough to seal the deal.
Good idea, Professor. This time I purchased Max Potions, the strongest form of healing potion available. From day 95 to day 97, I went back to the Rose Fields where I met Gorgon that one time. Her taunting distracted me, so I wasn't able to search the whole biome for materials. Uh-oh, it looks like some other ghost types are here. Zombie Pokemon! There were zombies everywhere, but because ghost types were actually weak against other ghost type attacks, my ghostly diamond sword was the perfect weapon to thin them out. That's right, shamble away! I continued to use ghost type attacks on the ones that got into melee range and used my falling TNT attacks to reduce their numbers. Eventually, I had defeated or driven away all the zombies in the Rose Field. When the battle was over, I noticed there was a special sword stuck into a stone. It was a netherite sword, and it was charged with even more ghostly power than my diamond sword. Oh, this is just what I was looking for. I took the sword with me and began to walk home to my base. On day 98, I was confronted by Gorgon just outside of my base.
This stops now, Creeper Pokemon Zozo. You have gone from a minor annoyance to the one thing that is stopping Dread Knight from becoming a Pokemon Master. I'm going to end you here and now for his sake.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Gorgon.
What?
I'm feeling like a one-hit KO! I drew my fighting battle axe, knowing it would be super effective against Gorgon, and with one single slash, I defeated her! Critical hit! Now that I'd defeated Gorgon, I knew the battle with Dread Knight would be coming, so I built the perimeter wall a bit higher and gathered my max potions.
Has the time arrived for you to face your destiny, Zozo?
I don't know about destiny, but I'm definitely ready to take down the Dread Knight.
Then allow me to come with you. That way I can record what a fully evolved creeper Pokemon looks like at its most powerful. After you win, of course.
And I will! The professor and I left the base, and soon we were on the road to the Dread Knight's evil Pokemon gym. This had been quite a journey, and if you want to see more of my adventures, remember to search Zozo to find more videos and subscribe so you can always know when I upload next. On day 99, we arrived at the Red Rock Highlands, which is where we found the Dread Knight's evil Pokemon gym.
The challenge will begin as soon as we enter his lair. Are you still ready to face him, Zozo?
From the moment I spawned into this world, I knew I'd have to fight. I'm ready as ever, Professor.
And let's head inside.
Suddenly, the professor and I were ambushed by more of the ghost-type skeletons. Not these guys again! They surrounded us. These must have been the highest level Pokemon that the Dread Knight has. I could handle them myself, but Professor Oak was a professor, not a Pokemon. He was in serious trouble.
Go on, Zozo. This may look like a troublesome situation, but I'm Professor Oak. I've seen far more rare and dangerous Pokemon than this and survived. The only thing that is different this time is that I don't want to slow you down.
Professor!
Go! I'll manage somehow. Go defeat Dread Knight. He must not become an evil Pokemon master.
I didn't want to leave the professor, but I could tell that he was serious, so I braced myself and ran directly into the gym, where I would soon come face to face with the Dread Knight. On day 100, I was face to face with the Dread Knight.
Oh, it's you, Zozo.
No more running, Dread Knight, for either of us. No matter who wins or loses, this will be the last battle that we ever have. I'm not backing down.
A Pokemon cannot hope to stand against a master. I will show you the true meaning of fear. You don't have a ghost of a chance against me.
No more puns either. We clashed weapons, and I was glad that I brought my netherite sword. It was the perfect weapon to use in this battle. I was able to make the Dread Knight move back out from melee range and launch my Fire Blast attack. Now that had to hurt.
It's not very effective, you foolish creeper Pokemon.
Rats! I thought I had him.
I'm going to use my own signature move now. See if you can dodge it.
The Dread Knight created a Shadow Ball, even more powerful than his skeleton guards, and he launched it straight at me. I dodged out of the way, knowing that one hit from that would KO me.
Say goodnight, Zozo. Get it? Because I'm a knight.
That's your worst pun yet, Dread Knight.
It was Professor Oak. He had come to help. He threw a Pokeball, and instantly it absorbed the Dread Knight's power.
Now's your chance, Zozo. He could only use that move by becoming a ghost type himself. Strike him down.
Right, take this, Dread Knight. I delivered the final blow with my netherite sword. With the battle finally over, I was a free Pokemon. Oh, I guess Professor Oak would be able to come up with quite the Pokedex entry for this creeper Pokemon. On day 1, I spawned into a beautiful cherry blossom forest as a creeper. Oh, wait, why does my stomach hurt? I guess I must be a hungry creeper, and a baby hungry creeper at that. Lucky for me, there seem to be lots of apples laying around the forest. That must be why there are so many capuchin monkeys hanging around. Would you guys mind sharing some of your apples with a hungry creeper like me? I'd really appreciate it. That's when I saw a big, scary Skeleking striding towards me out of the trees, and he looked like he really meant business.
Not so fast, kid. These apples don't belong to these goofy little monkeys. They belong to me, Skeleking of the Overworld.
Oh, well, can I please have some apples, Your Highness? My name's Zozo, and I'm so hungry.
Sure, if you can pay up some emeralds, nothing in this world is for free, kid.
I don't have any emeralds.
Then we have nothing to say to each other. I'm sick of all you freeloaders thinking you can enjoy my food for nothing. Within 100 days, I'll make sure that nobody can get a single morsel without paying through the nose for it.
I'll never let you get away with that. It's not fair on all the hungry people who don't have emeralds.
Well, I guess I'll just have to destroy you then. Sorry, kid. Gotta make an example out of people sometimes.
The Skeleking unleashed an energy blast. I ran away as fast as I could, but it was already too late for the monkeys and the apples. The blast took them all out. The blast also took me down to 2 hearts. I ran as fast as I could. I needed to defeat the Skeleking within 100 days, or everyone would go hungry. On day 2, I reached the Sika Woods and stopped for a minute to catch my breath. I could still feel my stomach growling. I wish I'd been able to eat at least one of those apples. But while I was still catching my breath, I got ambushed by some armored skeletons, and something told me that they probably wouldn't have any food for me.
Hey, it's that freeloader the Skeleking told us about, boys. We'll teach him to try scrumping our Supreme Ruler's produce. Attack!
The armored skeletons ran towards me, and all I could do was run away. It's not like I had a weapon, and even if I did, I probably would have been too hungry to fight. Eventually, I managed to lose them. Being in this world was already exhausting. And if I don't find a snack soon, I think I'm gonna pass out. That's when a cassowary approached me. From how slowly she walked over, it seemed like she was nervous.
You're not with the Skeleking, are you?
Gosh, no! I was just running away from him and his minions. I'm Zozo. What's your name?
That's a relief. I'm Cassie the Cassowary. You look hungry. Come with me. I know someone who can fix you up some free grub.
Thank you! That's the best news I've heard all day! On day 3, Cassie the Cassowary took me to a cozy little cabin in the middle of Sika Woods. That's where I met the cabin's owner, a friendly straw golem named Stefan.
My word, you poor little creeper. You're all skin and bones. How about I give you some of this nice bread? It's fresh out of the oven.
Stefan gave me some tasty bread, and it helped fill up my hunger bar. A little bit anyway. Seems I really was a hungry creeper through and through. Thank you, Stefan. I really needed that. I don't understand why the Skeleking doesn't just let people eat when they're hungry. He'd make a lot more friends that way.
Ah, Zozo. But you see, the Skeleking doesn't care about friends. All he cares about are jewels and riches. As a skeleton, he doesn't even need food. He just hoards it for his own benefit.
That's awful. How can we stop him?
We can stop him by fighting back and making sure all the hungry are fed without having to give in to the Skeleking's evil demands. Making a base would be a good start.
Good idea. Thank you again, Stefan. We said our goodbyes to Stefan, and then Cassie and I set off deeper into the Sika Woods. It was time to start building a base. From day 4 to day 5, we started the construction project. Of course, before we could do anything else, we needed tools. That's why I broke down a tree and made myself a wooden pickaxe, which is good for only one thing, mining enough stone to make myself a full set of stone gear, including a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. Finally, I can deal some damage and start building a cool base. I used my pickaxe to harvest more stone and used a stone axe to chop down some more trees, giving me more wood to build with and more space for the foundation of my base. Looks like I'm getting the hang of this. Using all the materials I gathered, I started building a pretty basic starter base with a room for me, a room for Cassie, and a common area to hang out together. When it was done, Cassie and I took a second to appreciate it together. It's not much, but it's a start.
I think it looks awesome, Zozo.
But as you can probably expect, all this building worked up a real hunger. I did some more exploring until I found myself some delicious carrots to eat. What's up, Doc? And as soon as I ate the carrots, something amazing happened. I leveled up, getting bigger, stronger, and getting 9 hearts. Looks like I power up by eating. That must be why I'm so hungry. From day 6 to day 8, I decided I needed a change of scenery and traveled out to the Mojave Desert to search for more food. Suddenly, some text appeared. It was my stomach. You have generated 1 gunpowder? Well, would you look at that? I now actually have 1 gunpowder in my inventory. I guess it makes sense. I am a creeper after all. I explored for a bit until I was surrounded with hot desert sand all around. Las Vegas should be around here somewhere, and I've heard they have amazing all-you-can-eat buffets. I'm sure my stomach would like that. But I never found Las Vegas or any buffets. Instead, I found a little goblin named Goblo running towards me in a panic.
Stranger, you have to help me. I'm being chased by a desert mummy.
Oh no, don't worry, Goblo. Zozo's the name, and helping people is my game. Stand back! I charged in, leaving Goblo behind, while I searched for the desert mummy. It didn't take long for me to find him. He was running around the desert, trying to find Goblo. Instead, he found me. Let's battle, mummy. You should at least be picking on someone my size. the desert mummy attacked. He was one tough cookie, but thankfully, with my stone sword, I was able to get the edge. He dropped a cookie. Well, don't mind if I do. When the desert mummy was defeated, I returned to Goblo.
Thank you, Zozo. You're a lifesaver.
No problem, Goblo. Why was that desert mummy chasing you in the first place?
Because I owed his boss, the skeleton jackal, some money. When he finds out you defeated the desert mummy, he'll probably just send another.
Then we better go have a chat with this skeleton jackal personally. And I'm gonna need to break for lunch. From day 9 to day 10, I followed Goblo into the Red Rock Mountains, where he told me the skeleton jackal was waiting. You hang back, Goblo. I'll take care of this guy myself, then come back.
Yeah, okay, Zozo. Here, take this slingshot. Maybe you can fling some stuff at the skeleton jackal. I wish you luck.
I kept going until I found the skeleton jackal waiting for me. If you're not gonna forgive Goblo's debt, then I guess we're gonna have to fight. I loaded my slingshot with gunpowder and flinged it at him. To my disappointment, nothing happened. Oh well, I guess a good old stone sword will have to do. I charged in with my stone sword, expecting this to be an easy fight, like my battle with the desert mummy. But I was so wrong. It seemed like my attacks were barely doing any damage to the skeleton jackal. He was just too fast and strong. And to make things worse, he started throwing his javelins at me. Ouch, that hurts. I needed to get out of there. So I just turned and ran. I ran until the skeleton jackal was out of sight, then made my way back to Goblo, feeling hungry and ashamed. I'm so sorry, Goblo. I don't think I'm strong enough to take on the skeleton jackal yet. How about you come to my base to lay low? We'll figure something out.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Zozo. Thank you for helping me.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Goblo. Seeing as only Cassie and I had bedrooms at the moment, I needed to expand my base. I started adding a whole new room for Goblo to sleep in, connected to the common area. After building the room, I furnished it with a bed so Goblo could finally relax. How do you like your new room, Goblo?
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you, Zozo. I feel safe from the skeleton jackal and his goons here.
Great! Hopefully it'll keep us safe from the Skeleking and his goons, too.
Oh no, the Skeleking? He's like 100 times worse than the skeleton jackal. I've heard his troops have been going to anywhere that can produce and store food and trying to take it all over.
But why?
Almost everyone needs food, Zozo. So whoever controls the food controls the world.
Then we better start producing and storing our own food, just to be safe. With that idea in mind, I started adding a new room to the base, just for storage. Once I built the room, I installed a few chests so we could store as much as possible. I also started mining around my base, finding some iron ore deposits that I could later smelt into ingots. But I was still hungry, and I couldn't just eat iron. So I started adding another new feature to my base, a little chicken farm, filled with some chickens I found around the Sika Woods. The chickens would lay eggs and give me a steady supply of ingredients for cooking projects. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to my base and decided to have a much-needed chat with Cassie the cassowary. Cassie, I need your advice. How do you think I should go about getting strong enough to take on the Skeleking?
Well, you told me that eating helps you grow and level up. Maybe you need to venture out further and try more exciting foods. The tropical rainforest might have what you're after.
That's an amazing idea, Cassie. I took her advice and traveled out to the tropical rainforest. The journey actually made me even hungrier, but lucky for me, I was able to find some sweet berries that reduced my hunger a little bit. But this was immediately followed by a sudden ambush from the Spider Queen.
Well, if it isn't Zozo, the hungry creeper. I expected you to be bigger.
I'm working on it.
It doesn't matter. The Skelly King sent me to eliminate you. And believe me, no matter how hungry you are, I'm hungrier. The Spider Queen will eat you alive.
Without another word, the Spider Queen attacked me. It was a tough battle, but lucky for me, I was able to hold my own and turn the tables on the evil Spider Queen. When she was defeated, she dropped some cotton candy onto the ground. That is sweet! Get it? Because it's candy? Sorry, that is a bad joke. I ate the cotton candy and immediately felt myself growing again, just like Cassie had told me. I was bigger, stronger, and now I had 14 hearts. From day 16 to day 19, needing a break from all the dense woods and forests, I decided to take a stroll through the beautiful rose fields. While exploring, I got hungry and decided to eat some bread from Stefan the straw golem that I'd kept in my inventory. When you're going on a long journey, you should always bring snacks, especially when you're a hungry creeper. A little less hungry now, I continued my search through the rose fields until I found a mysterious old chest just sitting around in the middle of the field. Oh, I wonder what's inside. I took a peek and found a book titled Mysteries of the Weeping Witch Forest. Most of the pages were blank, but one of them had the words, "A man who once walked the Weeping Witch Forest with evil thoughts found his mind and body twisted, always desiring but never hungry, forever unsatisfied, a creature less than human." Wait, that sounds a lot like the Skeleking! Does this mean he has something to do with the Weeping Witch Forest? Before I could finish my thought, a bunch of armored skeletons turned up, looking for a fight.
Look, we found the freeloader again. Let's destroy him for good this time. Maybe the Skeleking will give us a raise.
The armored skeletons attacked me, but I wasn't a little baby hungry creeper anymore. With my new size, skills, and my stone sword, I was able to defeat every last one of them. Seems like all my hard work is paying off. Now I'm hungry again though, running out of food, fast. From day 20 to day 22, I continued through the rose fields. I found a few spiders along the way, but after defeating the Spider Queen, they were nothing. I think I've earned myself some upgraded equipment after all this. I continued mining into the ground until I found some more iron ore. I then built myself a little furnace out in the field to smelt the ore into ingots, then turned the ingots into a full set of iron gear. First and foremost, an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. I think I'm finally strong enough to settle an old score now. With Goblow's debts in mind and my hunger nagging at me again, I made my journey back to the Red Rock Mountains, where the skeleton jackal was once again waiting for me. Ready for a rematch, friendo? The skeleton jackal attacked, but this time I was a lot bigger, stronger, and faster than before, and I had way better weapons. It didn't take me long to defeat the monster, and in doing so, clear all of Goblow's debts. It feels good to help. Now if only it made me less hungry. While I was feeling sorry for myself, the Skeleking himself suddenly appeared, walking right up to me. With him there, I certainly didn't feel as confident as I did before.
Been enjoying all the free snacks, you sad little mooch? You've been eating on borrowed time, Zozo. You owe me, and I always collect on what I'm owed.
I don't understand you, Skeleking. I read that you were a person once, before you lost your humanity. Why do you want all this money if you don't even need to buy food with it?
To need is weak, and to want is powerful, Zozo. What you have is hunger. It's a sign of your low status. What I have is ambition. Perhaps someday you'll understand that, but I don't expect you to live that long. Mark my words, your days are numbered.
And with that, the Skeleking disappeared, and I was alone in the Red Rock Mountains with a grumbling stomach once again. From day 23 to day 26, I tried to ignore my grumbling stomach as I returned to my base. I really wanted a snack, but first I had to give Goblo the good news. I found him chilling at the fireplace. Hey, Goblo, guess what?
What is it, Zozo?
I took care of that skeleton jackal, so he won't be sending his goons after you anymore.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your help.
No problem. Now we don't have to worry about any more of those creeps coming after you. Next, I decided to gather materials that would help me improve my base. Also, I wanted to see if I could rustle up another snack. Some stone blocks. I can use these to build a stone wall around the base and keep the bad guys out. I gathered the stone, as well as some coal which I unearthed, and got to work building a wall around my base. That looks great! Super secure. But I want to make sure I can see what's going on out here while I'm inside. I know, I'll add some windows. After carrying all that stone, putting in a few windows was a snap. Phew, that really made me work up an appetite. I wandered out into the woods to see what I could find, and suddenly I spotted a tree filled with what I like to call yellow gold, bananas. This is the best day I've had so far. I picked up as many bananas as I could find and made sure to eat a few to help fill up my rumbling stomach. After that, I could think much more clearly. As much as I wanted to eat all the bananas, I realized I could use some of them to help upgrade one of my weapons. I know, I'll fuse these with my sword and make a banana sword. No, a banana katana. Hey, that's pretty good. Maybe once the Skeleking is defeated, I'll get into comedy. It tastes delicious. I just gotta make sure I don't cut my tongue while eating my katana. From day 27 to day 31, I was getting restless hanging around the base. Having no more bananas to eat, it was time to head out and explore a new area to see what snacks I could find. My journey took me all the way out to the ice spikes. I wish I'd worn a coat, but I've got my sense of adventure to keep me warm. Plus, it was pretty hard to focus on being cold when I was so hungry. As I was walking, I came across some diamonds. Whoa, I can't believe these are out here. I'll grab them and take them home with me. Then, I saw something amongst the ice and the bushes and rushed toward it. Maybe it's something I can eat. But as I got closer, I realized it was just a mungus. Oh, sorry to bother you.
No bother at all. I was hoping someone would come along to help me. I took a stroll away from my home in the mushroom fields, and I'm afraid I'm hopelessly lost and getting colder by the second.
Well, you can warm up at my base if you want. Follow me there.
Oh, thank you. Please take these cookies as a token of my thanks.
Sweet.
Yes, exactly.
I showed the mungus the way back to my base, but we were both still shivering from the cold. We need a bigger fireplace. I quickly upgraded our existing one, and before long we were warming ourselves up by the fire and munching on cookies. This is the good life. Just then, Cassie the cassowary approached us.
Zozo, I need your help. It's Stefan. He's in trouble. We have to go now.
From day 32 to day 35, Cassie and I headed to Stefan's cabin in the Sika Woods to see what was going down. Cassie sounded pretty upset, so I knew it was probably pretty bad. When we arrived, I saw why Cassie was so freaked out. The place was swarming with armored skeletons.
Zozo, thank goodness you're here. These brutes have been tearing my cabin apart.
Don't worry, we'll stop them. I drew my banana katana. I've got my banana katana, so you guys better split. I didn't have time to laugh at my super funny joke. I had to get to work fighting these guys off.
There's so many of them. What do we do?
We do our best. One of the armored skeletons came at me, but I managed to get in a good hit with my weapon before he could get me. We were so caught up in the fight, we didn't notice the two skeletons that knocked Stefan to the ground. Oh no! I tried to help him, but it was too late. Stefan was gone. You'll pay for this! My anger gave me the strength I needed to finish the fight, and with Cassie offering moral support, we defeated the rest of the armored skeletons. I sadly approached the remains of the straw golem. This is all my fault. I bet these guys were working for the Skeleking.
It's not your fault, Zozo. It's the bad guys who should be blamed.
You're right, Cassie. I need to focus on what matters, stopping the Skeleking from taking everyone's food. Speaking of food, I'm getting hungry again. I explored the golem's house for some food, but instead found a crafting table with items placed on top. Of course, it's the crafting recipe for TNT. I bet shooting TNT with my slingshot will work way better than shooting with gunpowder. From day 36 to day 39, I set off in search of something else to eat. Cassie and I split up so we could cover more ground. I also needed to keep looking for additional ways to defeat the Skeleking, but I was pretty sure I could do both at the same time. I couldn't help it. I was just a very hungry creeper. Cassie told me she heard there was food in the Badlands, so that was where I decided to go. But I didn't see any snacks anywhere, just rocks, sand, cacti, and other non-food plants. Oh man, nothing to eat here. As I was talking to myself, a coyote came up to me. He told me that he needed help finding aloe vera to treat his sunburns. He had spent too much time in the sun without applying sunscreen, and now he had sunburns all over his skin. Sure, I'll help you. Maybe if I found it quick enough, he'd give me a snack in return. No, I shouldn't think that. You shouldn't do good deeds just in case someone gives you a gift. You should do them just because it's good to be kind and help others. I spotted the aloe plant, but when I ran over to pick it up, someone jumped out from behind a rock.
I am the Desert Lord.
Dessert Lord? What kind of desserts do you have?
Not dessert, you fool! Desert! This is my domain, and everything in it belongs to me, including that aloe plant. Begone!
No can do, buddy. That aloe is required by someone else.
Then you must duel me for it.
Works for me. I ran toward the Desert Lord and fought him with my banana katana. The duel didn't take very long because my katana broke. What was I thinking? It's made from bananas. Of course the durability is non-existent. I used my axe instead, before he fell down and gave up. Then I grabbed the Zimbabwe aloe saplings and took them back to the coyote. He didn't have any snacks for me, but that was okay. It was still nice to help out. Before I left the Badlands, I made sure to stock up on some sand so I can craft more TNT when I get home. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to my base to check things out. This place is missing something. I know, we need some banners and some bookcases. I quickly got to work adding them. When I was done, I took a look at my new and improved base. Much better. That's when Goblo approached me.
Zozo, could I ask for a favor?
Sure thing, Goblo. What's up?
I'm pretty lonely here without any other goblins. Think I could invite some of my gob friends to stay with us for a while?
Sure, let me just make them some rooms. I added some extra rooms to the base so Goblo's buddies would have somewhere to stay. It was starting to look like a hotel. All done, go ahead and invite your friends. While Goblo and the Gobs settled in, I crafted as much TNT as I could. I have enough gunpowder for only 3? Come on, Stomach, you can do better than that. Start making more gunpowder. At least I could craft myself a diamond sword to replace the good old banana katana. My thoughts turned to food again, but my thoughts were interrupted by one of my latest guests, the Mungus, coming over to me with a quest.
Hey, Zozo, I have a quest for you.
Sure, what is it?
I need you to go to the underground mine for me. There is an Anubis there who has been terrorizing my family and keeping them from mining there.
I don't like bullies. You've got it, Mungus. I'll make sure he leaves your family alone. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled to the location of the underground mine to look for that Anubis who was giving Mungus so much trouble. I spotted a crane in the distance. This must be it. It was an entire mining site. I headed down into the mine and started to look around. I have to admit, I was also kind of hoping I'd find something to eat too, but the chests there were filled with rubbish. Mostly I was focused on my quest, but I'll never turn down a snack. I ventured deeper, but I didn't see Anubis anywhere. But what I did see was the Skeleking lurking in the mine.
Hey, you've gotten bigger since I last saw you. What did I tell you before, Zozo? No more free snacks. This is the end of that line, kid. You're toast, and you'll never eat toast again without paying me for it first.
You're terrible. You let your greed consume everything you do, and then you act like we're all greedy for wanting the smallest things. It's not fair.
Life isn't fair. You're either a winner or a loser. Get used to it. And speaking of losing, get ready to lose a fight with one of my best minions. Ha 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 ha!
He let out an evil laugh, then ran out of the mine, leaving a terrifying ghost miner behind. I had to be brave, even if I was scared. Whatever, I ain't afraid of no ghost. But when he rushed at me, I could tell he was really strong, and this wasn't going to be an easy fight. From day 50 to day 53, I worked hard to bust the ghost miner and get out of the underground mine alive. I was a little bit worried because I couldn't damage him. My punches went straight through him. And his pickaxe did loads of damage. But it dawned on me, I should blast him away with my TNT. I loaded up my slingshot and kaboom! The ghost was literally blown away. Haha! I managed to win after all! As I was looking around the mine after the fight, I saw a chest in the distance. I checked inside. A golden apple! Can I eat this? Only one way to find out. Turns out, I could eat it. And not only was it tasty and gave me some nice buffs, but it gave me some secret knowledge. Suddenly, I knew something else about the Skeleking. So he's hiding all the food he takes in chests at his base. If only I knew where his base was, I could return all the food to the people that need it. That's great! Now I just have to find out where he's hiding and get big and strong enough to stand a chance in a fight with him too. From day 54 to day 57, I climbed deeper into the mine. I couldn't go back to my base until I found that Anubis. After all, I gave Mungus my word that I would complete his quest. Well, all of a sudden, it looked like I would still get the chance because a great big tough Anubis came bolting out at me. Ah, bad dog, bad dog! He knocked into me and it hurt, but I was still alive and I was still strong enough to fight back. I ran back at him and managed to defeat him, even though he was bigger and badder than me. Oh hey, he dropped something. Suspicious stew. Awesome! I didn't care how suspicious it was. I was starving. I slurped it up and felt myself grow bigger and stronger with 18 hearts now. With my quest complete, I headed back to the base to give Mungus the good news.
Thank you so much, Zozo. I have some good news of my own. I heard a rumor that the Skeletons' base is in the Weeping Witch Forest. When you feel strong and ready enough, you should be able to find him there.
From day 58 to day 62, I was thinking about food again. I wish I had some more eggs, then we could make all kinds of snacks here at the base. Wait a second, if we had some more chickens, we could have more eggs. I went out and found some chickens, then herded them back to the base and put them in the coop with the others. Make friends, little chickens. Then I decided to see if I could upgrade my gear. I went down into the mine and found some more diamonds. Perfect! I used the diamonds to craft a shiny new pair of diamond boots and pants. I feel tougher already. From day 63 to day 66, I tried to come up with a plan for what to do next. I wasn't ready to try and take on the Skeleton on his own turf. I needed to get stronger first. Then Goblo came to me with an idea.
Say, Zozo, are you still hungry?
I'm always hungry.
Well, I heard there's some yummy fish to be found in the bayou. Might be a good idea to check it out and see if you can find some.
That's a great idea. Thanks to Goblo's tip, I left my base and traveled to the bayou. I was wandering around when an ogre came stomping up to me. I was pretty nervous and got ready for a fight, but he gave me a friendly growl instead.
Hi, sorry to bother you, but I could use a little help. You see, there are a bunch of gnarly swamp spiders infesting my house and trying to bite me every time I go inside. Could you get rid of them for me?
Sure, after the kind of enemies I've fought lately, I can definitely squash a few spiders. From day 67 to day 70, I followed the ogre to his house, and sure enough, it was crawling with swamp spiders! Yikes, I get why you asked for help. These weren't any ordinary spiders, they were meaner and much more dangerous. But I'd already fought the Spider Queen, so I knew I could take them. It didn't take long before I defeated every single one of those spiders.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without your help.
All done. Your house should be safe now.
Yeah, take this as a thank you.
He handed me some raw salmon. Hey, it's true, there really is fish here. I gobbled up the salmon and it really hit the spot. Yes. We said our goodbyes and the ogre went back to cleaning up and living in his house. From day 71 to day 74, I took a walk through the Black Forest on my way back to my base. As I was looking around, I found a note on the ground. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more adventures like this one, and be sure to search Zozo to find more awesome videos. After looking at the note, I went back to hunting for something else to eat. I've heard people talk about Black Forest cake before. Maybe I can find some of that here if I'm lucky. But I didn't find any cake. All I found was the Skeleton lying in wait for me.
There's no more cake left in this forest, Zozo, but I'll give you a slice if you bring me some diamonds first.
Never!
Then perish.
He started throwing bone blocks at me. I tried to dodge them, but a few got me anyway. Ouch! That really hurt. He's still a lot stronger than me. I don't want to run away, but I'd better get out of here if I want to survive. So I ran out of there as fast as I could before he could do any more damage. Next time I see him, I'll make sure I'm ready. From day 75 to day 78, I ran all the way back to my base. Thankfully, the Skeleton wasn't able to follow me there. I need to do something to take my mind off of that disaster. I looked around and my eyes settled on the garden. Some flowers would make me feel better. So I planted some flowers in the garden and it really cheered me up. Look at all those beautiful flowers. As I was finishing up with the garden, one of the gobs that Goblo invited to the base came over. He thanked me for giving him and the others a place to stay and handed me a steaming hot bowl of mushroom stew as a thank you gift. Yum, this smells great. I quickly ate the stew and grew larger, gaining 4 more hearts. Wow, I feel so much stronger now. Thanks, Gob. That's a pretty powerful stew. From day 79 to day 84, I headed to the apple orchard to gather some fruit and look for some mobs I could test out my new strength on. I found plenty of both. There were a lot of apples, and there was also the Golden Devourer. They were hungry little guys trying to eat all the apples for themselves. Leave some for the rest of us. I taught them a lesson and beat them quickly. I really am stronger. A giant came up to me and told me he saw what I did. He'd been trying to clear those pests out of the apple orchard for days now, and now he and the other people living nearby could finally get some of the apples. I helped him pick some to take back home, and he gave me a piece of mutton in return. I ate the mutton and it tasted great and helped me grow even stronger. From day 85 to day 89, I took a leisurely walk back to my base. But when I got there, I was shocked at what I found. There was a big, nasty sectoid queen attacking my base and scaring all of my friends. Hey, you get out of here! But before I could attack, the sectoid queen scuttled off into the woods. Oh, no you don't! I ran after her, but I lost track of her. I saw a bull looking around and thought maybe he could help me. Have you seen a sectoid queen?
Yes! If I tell you where she went, will you help me get my cat out of that tree?
Sure. Here, kitty kitty. I don't know why, but the cat listened to me and climbed down out of the tree. I guess it could tell I just wanted to help.
Thank you! She went that way!
He pointed me in the right direction, and I headed off to track down the sectoid queen. From day 90 to day 94, I found the sectoid queen deep in the Sika woods. There you are! Why were you attacking my base?
Just following orders from the Skeleking. He sent me after a little newt who's been hoarding snacks without paying for them. When I couldn't find you, I decided to tear apart your house to teach you a lesson.
You shouldn't have done that. Now, I'll teach you a lesson.
You can try.
I attacked with my sword, but it was a much harder fight than I expected. Uh-oh, she's really strong. This isn't gonna be easy. The queen seemed to back off and started digging a tunnel into the mountain. I was hurting, so I didn't follow her immediately. Instead, I gathered some berries to replenish my hunger and health before continuing the fight. From day 95 to day 97, I went into the tunnel which led to a dripstone cave where the queen was waiting. I charged her and kept on fighting the sectoid queen. She started spawning regular-sized ants around her. Sure, they were small, but they still bite. I was getting pretty tired, and I was worried I might not make it out of this one.
Might as well give up now. You'll never be a match for the Skeleking.
That taunt gave me the inspiration I needed to finish up the fight. That is it. No more playing around. Taste the power of TNT. I shot a TNT charge up into the dripstone, and it fell right on the sectoid queen. She was done for. Wow, that was a tough one. I saw that the sectoid queen had dropped a throwing axe, and I picked it up. Wow, this is a great weapon. It'll help me a lot. There was an inscription on the handle reading, "Property of the Skeleking." I guess this used to be his throwing axe. Well, he took a lot of things from people who need them, and then he was careless with his own weapon? Finders keepers, I guess. I'll use this to defeat him once and for all. Before I left, I made sure to mine up all the diamonds that were in this cave. This will be just enough diamonds to finish my diamond armor set. On day 98, I took my new throwing axe back home to my base, and to my surprise, my friends fixed up the house back to the way it was before. I started preparing for the final battle. First, I made the rest of my diamond armor. There, now I am well protected. Next, I crafted as much TNT as I could. Thank you, stomach. This gunpowder will be used for good. Now I finally felt ready to take on the Skeleking and return the food to the hungry masses. But first, Cassie approached me.
Zozo, I'm glad I caught you. I brought you this pineapple to help you get your strength up before your battle.
I ate the pie and changed my form into a mutant creeper. Now I look really mighty. I gained even more hearts, up to 40 now. What was in that pineapple?
I don't know, but now you can definitely defeat the Skeleking.
Then came Goblo.
Yeah, thank you for saving my life, Zozo. You've done so much to help so many people, and I just know you'll be the one to free us from the Skeleking.
Thank you, that means a lot. Of course, the Mungus had something to say.
Zozo, I may just be a simple mungus from mushroom fields, but I think you're a really fun guy.
Thanks. And even the other gobs wanted to encourage me.
Since you liked it so much before, here's some more mushroom stew. Eat up before you leave.
I stored the stew for later, and I felt prepared to head out and take back what was rightfully ours. On day 99, I started on my trek to the Weeping Witch Forest, where the Skeleking's base was. At first, I wasn't sure where exactly his lair might be, but a bubble parasite pointed me in the right direction.
You can do it, Zozo.
Thanks, pal. When I arrived at the base, I saw an armored pillager guarding the entrance. How am I gonna get past him? For a second, I thought my plans were doomed, until the ogre came running out of the woods.
Let me handle him. You take on the Skeleking.
Ogre, you're here!
You didn't think I'd leave you without any backup, did you? I can handle the zombie. You head on inside.
On day 100, I ran straight into the Skeleking's base. With no more minions to protect him, he would have to fight me himself, one-on-one. Come on out and face me. It's time for you to be the one who pays. He emerged from his lair at the sound of my taunts.
I'm not paying for a thing. You don't know what you're messing with, little creeper.
I'm not so little anymore.
No, I guess not. You've gotten strong on stolen snacks. Snacks you should have given me emeralds in exchange for.
You can't make people pay you for food. It belongs to everyone.
Enough talk. I've had enough of your chatter. I'll shut you up once and for all.
You know what? I'm still hungry, and there's only one thing that would hit the spot right now. Justice. And with that, I sprang into action and charged at the Skeleking, dealing him a powerful blow. But he was not taking any damage. He had some sort of purple magic protecting him. That's when I noticed purple crystals in the watchtowers. That must be what is protecting him. Just like when you fight the Ender Dragon, I needed to get closer to them. I managed to sprint into his house. I searched for a lever to deactivate the towers, but saw nothing, just his bed and his throne. He did have TNT on display. That is it. Who needs a lever? I can just shoot TNT at the crystals. I had no time to waste. The Skeleking came into the house and landed some good hits on me. I ran to the first tower and launched TNT right into the crystal. The Skeleking didn't seem to like that explosion. I ran to the next tower while Skeleking chased me. Soon the second tower was also down. Just one more. The Skeleking almost caught up to me, but he was too late. I successfully destroyed all the crystals and his magical protection had disappeared. He stepped back, injured.
No, you're weak. You're tiny. I own you. I own everyone. Everything.
Maybe you did own everything, but I'm here to take it all back. I threw my throwing axe as hard as I could, and it hit, knocking him out. And that was that. The Skeleking had been dethroned. Time to take all of this food and get it back to the people who need it. In that moment, I didn't feel hungry anymore, and I knew that as long as I had anything to say about it, no one in the world would ever go hungry again. On day 1, I spawned in as a baby dragon. Whoa, I'm no ordinary dragon. I'm a warden dragon. I opened my mouth and shot out some dragon breath, then shot off a sonic boom. They were both pretty weak, but still cool. That's when I noticed a nearby ender dragon and warden. Hey, I have the same powers as you guys. You must be my parents. My mom and dad were excited to see me, and everything was happy. But suddenly, a big buff evil Steve came out of nowhere.
What's this? A warden and a dragon combined? I already hate dragons, but a dragon combined with a warden is even worse.
Run, Zozo. We'll hold him off.
I wanted to help, but she was right. I was too weak. As I watched the battle, I saw that Buff Steve was able to destroy my dad. No, how can he be so powerful? Buff Steve then captured my mom. I had to hurry away.
You get back over here, or your mom will never be free.
Don't worry about me. Run to a portal and destroy it behind you.
I listened to my mother like any good boy should, and ran away before Buff Steve could capture me. I ran into a nether portal to escape. On day 2, I came teleporting through a nether portal, landing in the overworld. I turned and shot off my sonic boom, destroying the portal behind me. I don't know how much time that buys me, but I have to get stronger to save my mom. If I was going to save my mom, I had to get the gear to do it. Using my claws, I began gathering up some nearby materials in order to build a base. I don't need anything fancy yet, I just need something that can keep me safe. Speaking of being safe, I was suddenly attacked by a bear. Get back! I have claws too! But trying to win this fight was foolish. I had no choice but to run. Oh boy, it looks like the overworld is just as dangerous as the nether. I kept running until I found myself on a nice, steep mountain. If I hollow this place out, this could make for a perfect base. Excited with the idea, I got right to it, building my base. I have so many ideas of how I can improve it, but we'll start simple for now. Soon, the start of the base was ready. I feel like it's going pretty good so far. Tomorrow will bring me one step closer to saving my mom. On day 3, I kept mining down into the mountain when I popped out on the other side. But as luck would have it, there was something unexpected. Is that An ender dragon nest? It looked like there was an egg inside of it too. Just then, a phantom appeared. He got closer to the egg. He was going to eat it. Oh no you don't, the dragons are my friends! The phantom clearly didn't expect anyone to be here, and I was able to hit him hard. In no time, I managed to take him out. Finally, it feels good not to run away for once. And what's this? The phantom had dropped some phantom skin, which I picked up. With it gone, I was able to get really close to the egg. That's when I saw there was a note nearby. My dear child, if you are reading this, then something has happened to me. I was setting out in search of food for us. It is very likely that a powerful being called Steve may come after us. He collects powerful creatures like us dragons. Take care and stay safe. Oh no, it's not just me. Dragons everywhere are in trouble. It's not enough to just save my mom from Buff Steve. I'm going to have to defeat him. I quickly picked up the egg to take it back to my base. I could keep it safe there. On days 4 to 5, I arrived back at my base. I got right to work building an incubator for the egg. If it was going to hatch safely, it needed a good environment to thrive in. Just as I finished up, I heard a noise outside. I ran out and saw even more phantoms. Oh man, you guys really want this egg! Well, just try and take it. The phantoms did their best to take me out, but they were no match for me. They would have to try harder than that if they wanted to win. With the 2 phantoms defeated, I picked up the phantom skin they had dropped. Oh, I know just what to make with this! I went over to my crafting table and used the phantom skin to make myself some phantom skin armor. It was about as strong as leather armor, but it would be better than nothing. On days 6 to 8, I was starting to get hungry and decided to go look for food. I was a little nervous about leaving the egg behind, but if I couldn't get food, then no one would be able to protect it. I soon came across a village. Hi there, please, do you have any food to spare? The villagers took one look at me and ran away. I guess they weren't used to meeting friendly dragons, or friendly wardens for that matter. Well, no one is around, so bon appetit. I got right to work attacking the animals around. Sure, it felt bad to hurt other animals, but hey, a dragon's gotta eat. And there's no way I was going to eat a salad.
At last, I found you!
I looked and saw Buff Steve standing there. This time he had on dragon armor. He was even stronger than before. You, what do you want?
Isn't it obvious? You!
He clearly wasn't in the mood to chat, and I had no choice but to fight. I started swinging, but it was clear he was too strong.
Looks like you're all mine.
I saw a window to escape, and I took it. I had to get out of there, and fast.
You might have slipped away this time, but mark my words, I'll find you.
He was probably right, but today was not that day. On days 9 to 10, I had made it back to my base. That's when I heard a noise coming from the incubator. Oh no, the egg is in trouble! I ran into the room to find the egg was still there, but it was hatching. Suddenly, a small baby ender dragon climbed out.
Are you my mom?
Who, me? No, I'm Zozo.
Oh, so where's my mom?
I'm not sure, but she left this note in your nest. It was there when I found you, and then I brought you here to keep you safe. The little dragon read the note. I guess being able to read was a gift us dragons get at birth.
I see. I wish I could have just stayed in my egg. It's sad out here.
Hey, it's okay. There's a lot of cool things to do in the world too.
Really? Like what?
I thought about it for a moment, then told her to follow me. I instructed her to mine out a big room in the mountain because we were going to build a cool statue. I wanted to be sure we built it out of sight though, so Buff Steve wouldn't be able to find our base. The little dragon seemed to really enjoy the creative process and was much happier as we finished the first part. This is a good start, but do you have any guesses as to what it's going to be? I then got to work building her a room to stay in. I knew how hard it was to get your mom taken away from you, so I wanted to be sure she was happy and comfortable. Soon, her room was completed too. On days 11 to 12, the little dragon came out of her room to chat.
Hey Zozo, what's my name?
Oh, I guess you were born yesterday and could probably use one of those. How about Sivith?
Sivith? Yeah, that sounds cool. Oh, and Zozo?
Yeah, Sivith?
I'm hungry.
Oh, right. Hang tight. I'll get both of us something to eat. I went out into the land to try and find some crows to eat. After a bit of searching, I spotted a few. As I got closer though, I spotted a human nearby. Oh no, it's Steve! I went to run away when they called out to me.
Wait, little dragon!
That's when I realized it wasn't Buff Steve. I waited until they got a little closer.
Hey, Hey, don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you like Steve. My name is Alex.
What do you want?
I want to help you. Steve and I used to be friends, but not anymore.
What happened?
Steve and I used to adventure together, along with our friend Brianna. One day we were exploring the Nether and came across the Nether Dragon. The dragon didn't mind us being there until Brianna decided to mess with the dragon's eggs. There's something magical about them, and Brianna got too close. The Nether Dragon destroyed her as the three of us tried to escape. I was sad, but Steve was angry. He vowed to take revenge on all dragons. He finds them and locks them away in his base as revenge. Through this, he has become stronger, but more evil, turning into what he is today. I feel like it's my responsibility to stop him.
Thank you for sharing that with me. He captured my mom and my friend's mom. If we team up, we can stop him.
Yes, I was thinking that as well. Although, I think it's important for me to keep searching for more dragons, so I can warn them about Steve. But here, take this horn. If you ever need to talk to me, you can use this.
I took the horn and thanked her for her help. Maybe we could defeat him after all. On days 13 to 15, I continued looking for food as I thought about everything Alex had told me. Oh no, it's that bear again! I have to fight him off, otherwise I might not be able to find more food for days. I was stronger now, so I charged in to fight. The bear was still really strong and really packed a punch. But everyone was counting on me. I couldn't lose. I kept swinging and finally took him out. What's this? I feel so much more powerful. Suddenly, I leveled up, growing in size and gaining more hearts. Whoa, I feel amazing! If I keep growing like this, maybe I can actually stop Buff Steve. I quickly gathered up the chickens and started leading them back to the base. On days 16 through 19, I arrived back at the base with the chickens. I got right to work building a coop for them to live in. Once the coop was complete, I went over to Sivith to tell her about the chickens, and also Alex.
This Alex sounds really nice, but I do have one question about everything you told me.
What's that?
Why are we eating eggs? Dragons come out of eggs too, so that seems kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different. Try not to think about it too much. I left Sivith to think about life and got to work building a mine. I might be able to grow in strength, but I can also build strength by making better armor and weapons. Speaking of which, I found some iron. Oh, perfect! I can finally get rid of my leather armor. This is great! Back in the base, I smelted down all of the iron, then used the iron to make myself a fresh set of armor and weapons. I'm feeling better already. On days 20 to 22, I woke up with a bad feeling in my stomach. I went to Sivith's room and saw she was missing. Sivith? Sivith, where are you? Just then, I heard another sound. It was the horn Alex had given me. She was calling me. I ran out of the base toward the sound. Maybe Alex knew what had happened to her. Soon, I saw Alex. What's going on?
Zozo, I called for you as soon as I could. I caught sight of Steve. He was chasing a baby dragon. That's not your friend, right?
I don't know. It might be. She wasn't in her room this morning.
Oh no. I'm not strong enough to face Steve yet, but I'll tell you where you need to go.
Alex explained where she saw them, and I hurried off. I soon got to the place Alex described and saw Steve was about to capture Sivith. I had to do something. Hold it right there, Steve. I jumped between the two of them.
Out of my way. I hate dragons, and this one is no different. Wait, you're that warden dragon I saw earlier. You're the worst kind of dragon of all.
Quick, Sivith, run! Steve wasn't paying attention, and Sivith was able to get away. Steve was then so distracted by her escaping that I was able to escape too.
Hang on, you're not getting away this time.
Steve chased after us, and I tried to knock him back while Sivith got away. He was still too strong, but I was able to get enough hits in to stop him from capturing us. Sivith managed to get away. Soon after, I was able to lose Steve in the trees. Sivith and I met back up, then hurried back to the base. On days 23 to 26, Sivith and I arrived back at the base. I was really worried about what had happened.
I'm so sorry, Zozo. Are you mad at me?
That depends. What happened? Did Steve find our base?
No, I left to go and find more supplies to upgrade our stuff when Steve came out of nowhere and tried to grab me. So you don't need to be mad because he didn't find our base.
I would have been worried if he found our base, but I'm mad that you left. You could have been captured and I would have never seen you again. I could tell Sivith felt really bad. Look, it's okay. I'm sorry for being mad. I know you were just trying to help, but right now it's too risky. Promise me you'll stay at the base from now on?
Okay, I promise. But Zozo?
Yeah?
before Steve popped out, I did see something interesting. I think you should go check it out.
Sivith explained where I needed to go, and she was right. It did sound like a good place to go. Nice one, Sivith. I'll go take a look. After a bit, I arrived at the place she described. It was a large temple. I stepped inside and was immediately attacked by a bunch of husks. Oh, go drink some water, you dust heads! The husks did their best to bring me down, but I took them out first. After the last one had disappeared, I saw something interesting. Oh, and what might this be? I took a look and saw that there was a bone sword. Wow, this is cool! That's when I realized that the sword also gave me a special ability. Now I could spit spikes. Now that is awesome and mildly confusing. I tested it out, sending spikes shooting at the wall. As I hit the wall, murals started to appear. Just then, a mummy came out and attacked me. Oh, someone is jealous of my spit takes. I kept launching spit spikes at him, slowly wearing him down. He was not a fan, but it didn't matter because I had to survive this. Soon enough, he was gone. So what's up with these murals? I took a closer look and realized they told the story of an epic adventure. One you can watch if you search for my channel, Zozo, Z-O-Z-O. This is when I survived 100 days as Moses. You'll really like that one if you're liking this one so far. On days 27 to 31, I had left the temple and arrived back at the base. As I entered my base, I could barely recognize Sivith. She was now the same size as me. Wow, Sivith, you're even stronger now, and I know just the way to celebrate. Sivith and I headed out to do some more work on the statue. Sivith felt like a little sister to me, and I was happy to have someone on my side. Together we could do anything. We were finishing up the next part of the statue when Sivith had a thought of her own to share.
This is looking good, but something isn't quite right. Feels like it could use a different material.
I think you're right, and I know just what to get. I took off to grab the material I had in mind. I am a little bigger now. I wonder if I can fly. I gave it a shot and found that while I couldn't fly, I could glide. Well, that's better than nothing. I soon arrived at the bottom of the hole, but was soon attacked by straddlers. Out of my way, I've got a statue to save. The straddlers did their best to knock me down, but they were no match for me. With them out of the way, I quickly found what I was looking for. This amethyst is just what we need. I can't wait to see if it looks good on the statue. I mined up as much amethyst as I thought we'd need, then got ready to head back to the base. The statue is going to look amazing now. On days 32 to 35, I was on my way back to the base when I was attacked out of nowhere by piglins. What are you nosy oinkers doing out here? I fought them off using everything I had until the last of them were defeated. That's when I heard something nearby. Hey, were you hiding from the piglins? It's okay now.
The dragon is talking to me.
The villager was so scared and tried to get away from me. But just then, another piglin popped out and started chasing after him. Hey, watch out! I rushed over and took on the piglin. In no time, I was able to defeat him.
You saved me? Wow, thanks.
No problem. Where did all of these piglins come from anyway?
I'm not sure, but my village is full of them. We could really use someone like you to come and clear them out for us. Would you be willing to help?
Say no more. I'm on the case. On days 36 to 39, I followed the villager back to his village. As we got closer, I could see he was right. The village was full of piglins. Let's try to get a better view of what's going on. We snuck around the outside of the town to get a better viewpoint of what was happening.
You see that structure in the middle of the town? That's where everyone is probably hiding out.
Got it. Hang back. I'm going to rush in there and get everyone out.
Whoa, hang on. I know you took those guys out back there, but those were just low-level scouts. You can't hope to take on all of those guys down there at once.
Okay, so what do you suggest?
It will be nighttime soon enough. I think we might be able to sneak in and get everyone out safely.
I'm good with that plan. We'll give it a shot. On days 40 to 43, the villager and I waited for nightfall. Soon, we saw that the piglins had begun falling asleep. It was time to make our move. Let's do this. We snuck into the village, doing our best to keep quiet. Even the smallest of noises could wake up the piglins. Which just then, there was a clang. My new villager friend accidentally bumped into something.
Sorry.
It was too late though. The piglins were awake and not happy to see us. Looks like it's plan A after all. My new friend was right. These piglins were much stronger than the scouts I had fought outside the village. What he wasn't right about though was my ability to take them on. I was tough, and the piglins fell one by one as I took them out. Soon enough, they were all defeated.
Zozo, you did it.
We then went over to the scared villagers, who weren't exactly happy to see me.
Don't worry, everyone. He's a friend. I know dragons can be scary, but Zozo here was the one who rescued all of us. We owe him our lives.
The villagers were happy to find out I wasn't there to eat them, and it felt good for people to see me as the hero.
Thanks again, Zozo. And in the future, if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know.
Will do. Now I've got a statue to go work on. On days 44 to 49, I returned to my base and got to work adding the amethyst to the statue. Sivith was right. This was just what it needed. All right, now we're making some good progress, but still have a ways to go. What do you think so far? All of the building and rescuing from the previous days had made me realize how badly I needed to be protecting myself from attack, so I made sure to do some work on the base. We were going to need strong defenses and traps if Steve ever found us. It had been a while since I had run into him, but I was sure something was going to happen with him soon. On days 50 to 53, I received a message from Alex. Steve and his goons were on the way to my base. How did they find us?
All I know is that he was told something by a villager.
A villager? After everything I did for that guy, he still didn't trust me.
Oh, no, not the guy that was working with you. Just someone from his village.
Still, it's a shame they would sell us out like that. Well, thanks for the warning. I'll go tell Sivith. I ran over to Sivith. Get ready, Sivith. They're coming for us, and we're going to be in for the fight of our lives. Meanwhile, outside the castle, Steve soon arrived with a gang of other players.
Oh, Zozo, the jig is up. We're here for you and that little friend of yours.
I don't care what you want. We didn't do anything to you. Let us live our lives in peace.
Peace is not an option. Attack!
Steve motioned for two of his soldiers to charge. As they got closer to the door, our trap started firing arrows, which quickly took them out. You're smarter than you look, but there's plenty more where that came from. Next up came an archer who did their best to try and disable our traps, shooting flaming arrows into them. Unfortunately, that seemed to do the trick, and the trap stopped working. Two griefers came up to the door, laid some TNT, and lit it. But suddenly the traps came back to life, taking out the archer and trapping the griefers in. There was an explosion, which took them out, but also took out the traps and door. The base was open now though, and the players started to run in, but not before falling into my pitfall trap. Another noob tried running in too, but fell right into the hole. Just then, someone vented in through the side and took a look in the hole. Unfortunately for them, their Spec Ops teammate popped in and knocked them down the hole. These guys really need to learn to work together. He filled in the hole, and the rest of the team charged in. Bring it on! The players charged at me, while I did my best to fight them off. Leave us alone! We didn't do anything to you! Most of the players were pretty weak, but I could hear someone setting off explosions in the background. I had to hurry. I had defeated most of the players when one stronger one with a flaming sword stepped up to fight. Look man, you don't want to mess with me. The player simply attacked. His flaming sword was really strong and kept setting me on fire. Yeah, okay, I see why people don't like Dragon's fire breath. Ouch! He was tough, but my attacks were getting the job done. I could tell he was getting weak, and I got him lined up with the edge. Have a good flight! I hit him hard, sending him flying over the edge. Just then, I felt the energy surge through me, and I grew into an even bigger dragon with more hearts. Yes, I feel amazing! Just then, I heard Sivith let out a cry. She was in trouble. I looked and saw she had been captured by Steve. Ha ha ha! Say goodbye to your little friend. Steve ran out of the base with Sivith in chains. I've got to stop him. I ran out of the base, but two more of Steve's players were waiting for me. They weren't very strong, but they gave Steve enough time to get away. I knocked them out, but it was too late. Hang on, Sivith. I'll find you. On days 54 to 57, I got out the horn and gave Alex a call. She arrived soon after.
Zozo, you look so sad. What's wrong?
They got Sivith. I've never felt so hopeless. Do you know where they might be taking her?
I'm sorry, Zozo. I really wish I could help, but I have no idea where they could be going.
I could tell Alex felt really bad, and she offered me some raw beef to cheer me up.
Look, we'll find her. In the meantime, let's get this place fixed up. You won't be of any use to Sivith if they come back and capture you too.
I agreed, and Alex and I got to work repairing the base. We had soon finished up the repairs, but I was still feeling a little bit down. One thing that I thought might help though was working on the statue. Alex offered to help on that as well, which made me grateful to have a friend in her. I was so worried about myself and my problems, I hadn't really thought much about what Alex was going through. Thanks for all of your help, Alex. I know you're going through a lot too, so it means a lot you are willing to help me.
Anytime, Zozo. Now take care. I've got some things to take care of.
I said goodbye and got ready for bed. Tomorrow I would figure out what I needed to do to save Sivith. On days 58 to 62, I headed into the mines. I didn't know where I needed to go to find Sivith, but I knew I needed to be stronger before I could do anything anyway. As I explored the mines, I was suddenly attacked by silverfish. These guys have always grossed me out. They were quick little buggers and hard to hit. Lucky for me though, I was able to take them out without taking too much damage. I continued into the mines and soon found some diamonds. Excellent, this is just what I need. I swung my pickaxe and gathered up lots of diamonds. I was going to have much better gear now. With all of my diamonds collected, I made my way back out of the mines. Back in my base, I got right to work crafting all of the diamond gear that I could. Steve wasn't going to know what hit him. On day 63 to 66, I woke up with a brilliant idea. I might not know where Steve is, but I know someone who might. And something tells me they are not going to be happy to see me. I took off towards the village I had saved days earlier. It was time to have a chat with the villager who ratted me out. As I arrived in the village, I saw my friend from earlier. I explained the situation to him, as well as who I was looking for.
I'm sorry to hear it, but I can't say I'm surprised. Billiam has always been the village rat. I know just where you can find him.
We headed off and found Billiam.
Whoa, you're, bigger than the last time we saw you.
I am. I'm quite a bit stronger too. I can break little villagers like you with no problem.
Oh wow, yeah, well, you're not gonna do that, are you?
That's up to you. My home was attacked by Steve and his goons. My friend was taken prisoner. I can't forgive this, but I might be able to look past it if you tell me where I can find her.
I'm sorry, but I don't know where they might have taken her.
Uh-oh, that's the wrong answer. I took a deep breath and got ready to blast him.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. I don't know where they would have taken her, but I can tell you where to find Steve's messenger that I talked to.
I thought about it and decided that was probably the best thing I was going to get from this guy. All right then, looks like today's your lucky day. William spilled everything he knew about where I could find this messenger. After he had told me everything, I headed out. Something tells me Billiam is not going to be very welcome in his village anymore. Sounds like that's in the best interest of everybody. On day 67 to 70, I arrived at the fortress that Billiam had told me about. I charged up to the base and immediately started attacking the guards. Where is your leader? Where is Sivith? The guards weren't interested in my questions and simply did their best to fight me off. But my friend was in danger and nothing was going to stop me. Out of my way, tin heads! As I fought my way through, I soon came across an even bigger guard. This guy was tougher than the first ones, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. He swung at me and did some serious damage. It really hurt, but I swung back and was able to take him out. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I had made it into the castle, and more of the big guys were trying to take me down. They swung, I dodged, and knocked their blocks off. Hang on, Sivith, I'm coming! On days 71 to 74, I had officially made it into the fortress. It was as if the whole base had been alerted to my presence, as every bad guy in the place was swarming in on me. I don't care how many of you there are, I'm going to make it to the top. As I knocked guard after guard out of my way, I eventually found myself inside a library. Wait a second, what's this? I had found some kind of special item. With this, I have the strongest spike attack I can get. Excited with my new ability, I immediately put it to the test. There were some guards up on the balconies, and I managed to take them out. Oh yeah, whoever this guy is, he's in for a real surprise. On days 75 to 78, I made it to what looked like the lair of the castle's boss. You there, you must know where Steve is keeping his prisoners. Tell me, or else.
Heh, you really think I'm gonna help a dragon? Look at me. Steve has been stealing the power of the dragons to make us stronger, and there's no way you'll be able to defeat me.
What? What does he hope to gain from all of this?
Not only will he finally destroy all dragons, but he will become a powerful dragon himself. Then no one can stop us.
Yeah? Well, this dragon isn't going to let that happen. Bring it on! The henchman and I started to fight. I did my best to fight him off, but since he had been given dragon powers, he was incredibly strong. This wasn't going to be a simple fight. Do you really think Steve will let you live your life once he's king? He's going to turn on anyone who has even a little bit of power.
Silence! You don't know what you're talking about. But it doesn't matter, because you're going to lose.
It looked like there was no talking sense into this guy. The fight was getting intense, but it was time to end it. I focused all of my energy, used all of my attacks, and at long last, I won! The henchman was nearly defeated.
No! How could I lose to a measly dragon?
Last chance, tell me where Steve's base is.
Never!
The henchman leapt forward to attack me, but I took him out instead. Well, maybe there's something around here that can help me out. On day 79 to 84, I started taking a look around the castle. Wait, what's this? Inside of a chest was a bunch of golden apples. Suddenly, there was a sound outside. As I ran out to look, I could see Steve in the distance, and he was looking right at me.
Ah, Zozo. Just the one I was looking for.
What do you want, Steve? Where's Sivith?
Who? Who cares? All you need to know is I finally finished my potion. The power of the dragons is finally mine. I received word you were here, so I thought I'd let you be the first one to see.
Steve drank down a potion and suddenly started to change. He turned into a disfigured but powerful dragon. Steve, what have you done?
Ha ha ha. Here, let me show you up close.
Steve took off into the air and flew toward me. I was strong, but not strong enough for this. I couldn't even fly yet. I had no choice but to run.
Come on, Zozo. What's the problem? Afraid of a little fire?
I kept running toward my base as Steve continued to chase me. I had to get to cover. We ran across the land and I finally snuck into my base. Steve flew around for a bit, but realized he couldn't fit inside. After a while, he left. I fear for the worst with Sivith. Is she still alive? On days 85 to 89, I got out of bed after a sleepless night. I had no idea if Steve would be waiting for me outside, and I couldn't risk going out there. I went back over to my statue. I had planned on completing it with Sivith, but I was worried I might not have that chance. I worked on completing the final part. Well, it's all done. It reminds me of Sivith, and she would have been proud of what we did here. I only hope I can avenge her and save everyone else from Steve's insanity. I was feeling more confident than before and stepped over to the ledge. Maybe I was strong enough to fly. I leapt over the edge and sure enough, I was able to get my wings going and fly. Yes, finally! I took some time to get used to flying. Luckily, it looked like Steve had left the area. I was able to get some good practice in when I heard Alex sounding off on her horn. I flew toward the sound and saw Alex was waiting for me.
Zozo, you did it! You're flying! This is great news!
Thanks! I just wish I knew where Steve's base was. One way or another, I've got to end this.
Well, I've got some good news for you. I found it!
I couldn't believe it. Maybe now we could finally get revenge for all the wrongs Steve had done. Even though I was feeling stronger though, I was still worried about how we could defeat Steve.
Steve is afraid of anything that might harm him, so he likes to keep that close to him. When we get to his base, we should take a look around. There might be something there that can help.
On days 90 to 94, I flew to Steve's base. As I landed outside the base, I met up with Alex. Wait a second, how did you beat me here? I was flying.
Oh, I have another highway set up, so I can get around pretty quick.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. So have you seen Steve?
Not yet. I think you should be good to head inside. I'll wait out here and let you know if Steve shows up.
Sounds like a plan. Stay safe. I took off and flew over the wall, landing in the courtyard. The place was full of half-dragon guards. Oh man, what happened to you guys? As I fought off the guards, I realized that these must have been Steve's failed dragon transformation experiments. That guy was twisted. Even though they were failed experiments, they were still really strong. I was able to hold them off, but I lost some pieces of my armor in the process. Whew, okay, that was tough. Let's move in deeper and see what we can find. On days 95 to 97, I moved even deeper into the base. Jeez, this place is huge! I soon found myself in what looked to be a forge room. I decided to take a look around and see if I could find anything that could help me in my fight. There was a cool dragon statue nearby. Then I noticed a chest was near it. I wonder what could be in here. I opened the chest and saw it was full of netherite gear. This just might give me the boost I need to win the fight. I kept on exploring when suddenly I was attacked by more of Steve's minions. How many of you guys are there? I smacked as many of them out of the way as I could. If there were guys down here, I must be getting close. I was finally going to be able to get my revenge. After I defeated the last of the minions, I came face to face with another one of Steve's stronger dragon guards. The last fight against one of you was hard. Let's hope this time can be better. We both sprang into action, hitting each other and firing off different attacks. He was still really strong, but my new equipment was doing its job. I managed to get him lined up with a cliff. Hang on to your horns! I gave him a good whack and sent him flying over the edge to his doom. Bet you wish you had the power to fly. On day 98, I moved even deeper into the base. It was starting to get really cold and wet. How deep underground had I gone? More guards? No problem. At this point, I was getting pretty good at fighting these guards. That's when I realized there was a dragon in a cage nearby. It was Sivith. I defeated the last of the guards, then hurried over to the cages. Hang on, I'll get you out. I used my sonic attack and opened up the cage, freeing my small friend. I was excited to see she was still alive, but had a question to ask her. I was scared to ask, but I had to know the answer. Sivith, I'm so happy you're alive. Have you by any chance seen my mother down here? A sad expression came over Sivith's face.
I have, but unfortunately she's gone. We were only both here for a short while, but I believe she saved my life.
What do you mean?
When Steve came to extract her powers from her, she gave him even more power than she needed to.
More power? Why would she do that? That just let him turn into a dragon sooner.
It's true, but you have to understand that she was out of time, and Steve would have used my power next. He was going to figure the transformation out, but your mom sacrificed herself to be sure Steve wouldn't need to hurt me too.
Wow, I understand. She was always looking out for others.
She also told me that she believed in you, and she knew even if Steve was able to harness dragon powers, you would be able to defeat him. She told me to give this to you when you arrived.
Sivith tossed something out on the ground. Warden's heart. This was a gift to my mom from my dad. I had always heard that there was a special power inside of it that combined the power of the dragon and the warden. But before I could investigate any further, I heard a noise from Alex's horn. Steve must be here. Come on, Sivith, let's get out of here. On day 99, Sivith and I arrived back outside of the base. Alex was waiting, and we hurried over to her.
Watch out! Steve is...
Just then, Steve came smashing down into the courtyard in his dragon form.
Sorry to break up the party, but you three have been getting on my nerves.
It's over, Steve. You might look like a dragon, but you will never truly be one. It's time for you to pay for your crimes.
Is that so? Well, come and get me, Warden.
Warden? Zozo, use the Warden's heart.
I quickly grabbed the warden's heart and activated it. I felt an amazing amount of energy flow through me, and I leveled up into my strongest, most powerful form. I can feel the full power of the Ender Dragon and the warden within me. You're going down, Steve. Steve let out a growl as we started to fight. We flew around, launching our dragon's breath at each other. The sound of our battle could be heard for miles. Give it up, Steve. I have the power of the two most powerful beings in the land. You can't hope to defeat me.
You're just a freaky mix of two creatures.
Hey man, look who's talking. I finally landed a powerful blow, which brought Steve down to his final heart. I soared high and dive-bombed him, delivering the final blow.
Ah, no!
Steve started to explode as his head spun violently. His entire being was glitching out of existence. And stay out of our land. On day 100, Sivith, Alex, and I all made it back to our base. We had lost our families and close friends, but together we would be our own new family. And if anyone else was in trouble, we'd be here to help them out. On day 101, I was on top of the world, flying around the Alps as a fully grown warden dragon, one of the strongest creatures in the overworld. I've got all my special abilities and 100 hearts. It doesn't get much better than this. But while I was busy flying and celebrating, I didn't even notice that someone was standing on the Alps. It was a scary-looking robot, and he was staring right at me with his big red eyes. I wonder who that is.
Dragon detected. Deploy attack 6. Depowering energy blast.
Before I could even react, the robot shot me with an energy blast, and something terrible happened. I fell down to the ground, feeling myself getting smaller and weaker. My 100 hearts went back down to a measly 10, and almost all of my powers disappeared. And not just that, all of my equipment disappeared too. What? This is impossible! The robot came running over to me. Who are you? Why are you doing this?
I am Dragon Slayer 3000. My primary directive is to destroy all dragons. Initiate Dragon Killer Blade.
He pulled out a scary-looking sword and charged towards me. Lucky for me, I at least had one power left: flight! I flew off as quickly as I could, leaving Dragon Slayer 3000 in the dust. I landed on the ground nearby and was immediately attacked by a saber-toothed pig. I was so weak now, I couldn't even fight back, so I just flew away as fast as I could until I got somewhere safe. I was on top of the world, and now I'm on the bottom. How could this happen? I took a second to breathe and rest. I needed a way to get my powers back and defeat Dragon Slayer 3000. On day 102, I traveled out of the cold, unforgiving world of the Alps and made my way into the nearby cherry blossom forest. Yeah, this is more like it. I just went through a traumatic event. I need somewhere nice and calm to stay. But before I could make myself a new base to stay, I needed to make myself a whole new set of tools. I busted down a tree and made myself a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. That's a good start. Now let's go for stone. I mined into the ground with my wooden pickaxe and started collecting stone until I had enough to create a stone pickaxe, axe, and stone sword. It's building time! I started cutting down some of the cherry blossom trees until I'd collected enough materials to start constructing my base. I started small at first, seeing as I was small now too, building a room for myself to sleep in. But I didn't have enough material to finish the roof, so I went into the woods to collect more materials. That's when I ran into an angry zombie spoiner. Oh no, this day is bad enough already. I don't want to deal with any zombies today. I pulled out my stone sword and fought him off. Lucky for me, I still wasn't too weak to take down a zombie spoiner. Phew, now back to base building. I collected the materials I needed, then went back to my base to finish off the roof. It was a small base, but it was a good start, and I knew I could build myself back up from here. On day 103, I decided to travel around, hoping to collect some more wood for constructing my base and find out more about the crazy robot that had attacked me back in the Alps. That's why I went to the coniferous forest, but this forest wasn't quite as welcoming as the cherry blossom forest. My big clue was a huge vile ogre who showed up and tried to shake me down for some emeralds.
You have to pay the troll toll if you want to pass through this forest, puny dragon.
But you're not even a troll, you're an ogre. They're not the same thing.
Ugh, what a silly technicality. I'm gonna pound you for that, kid.
He gave me a powerful whack after that, taking off a few of my hearts. Remembering the powerful dragon I once was, I pulled out my stone sword and fought back until the vile ogre was defeated. Darn, I'm still injured though. This is the worst. But in my moment of need, a mysterious spirit appeared, the guardian of the forest.
Hello, little dragon. You're certainly a rare one.
I wasn't always little. Wait, what do you mean I'm a rare one?
That terrible machine has been destroying dragons in droves. You're the only one I've seen in ages.
Terrible machine? You mean the Dragon Slayer 3000?
The very same. You look injured. Here, take these healing potions.
I took the potions, and it immediately helped me reclaim all of my hearts. Thank you, Forest Guardian. Want to come back to my base with me? We can work towards destroying that machine for good.
I like the sound of that. Lead the way, Zozo.
From day 104 to day 105, the Guardian of the Forest and I went back to my base. It was still pretty tiny, and there was no room for the Guardian to fit in as is. No worries, Guardian. I'll build you a new room where you can stay. I mined some extra wood and stone from around the cherry blossom forest and used it to add a nice new house onto the base. A house that would be perfect for a forest guardian, complete with some plants and a window to let in the sun. He seemed impressed.
This is perfect, Zozo. I think I'll enjoy my time here with you.
But he was wrong. Not everything was perfect because a gang of skeletons had heard all my construction work and were making their way towards the base. Oh no, I better take them out before they can ruin anything. I pulled out my stone sword and charged in. Skeletons were no match for even a small dragon, so it didn't take me long to defeat them all. And when they were gone, I noticed that they dropped some potions of regeneration. I added them all to my inventory. It's always good to have some of these on hand for emergencies. From day 106 to day 108, I got a crazy craving for fried eggs, but I couldn't just go to the store to get them. I needed to do it the old-fashioned way. I built a chicken coop and a fenced-off area on my base, perfect for a little free-range chicken farm. Then I started collecting chickens and herding them back to my base. I'll have a steady supply of delicious eggs in no time. I can hardly wait. Still feeling hungry in the short term, I decided to go wandering through the cherry blossom forest again, hoping I'd find something cool to eat. Instead, I found something very different. It was the Dragon Slayer 3000, and his big red eye was fixed on me.
Dragon detected.
Can't we just talk this out?
Initiation Destruction Protocol D4. Dragon Slaying Cyber Battle Axe.
The Dragon Slayer 3000 pulled a huge battle axe, seemingly out of thin air, and he charged for me, swinging the axe again and again, only barely missing me each time.
Resistance is futile. All dragons will be annihilated.
The Dragon Slayer 3000 had really earned its name. I needed to get out of there before it could slay me. I took off and flew away, trying to get as far away from that robotic monster as possible. But back on the ground, the Dragon Slayer 3000 was unfazed.
Tracking flight pattern. Processing estimated arrival location. This dragon will not escape.
From day 109 to day 110, I returned back to my base, still feeling terrified after my close encounter with Dragon Slayer 3000. He'd taken my powers, he'd taken my size and my progress, and he'd almost taken my life. I'm so scared that the next time I run into that evil robot, he'll destroy me for good. Just as I was slipping into anxiety and panic, the guardian of the forest came into my room with some encouraging words.
Zozo, I sense you've been feeling down. I understand. The odds are against you, and you've lost a great deal. You may think you're weak, but strength is not about how hard you can strike. It's about how hard you can be struck and keep on fighting. Go outside, and you'll see a statue I've been working on just for you.
That's so kind, Forest Guardian. I'll head out there and take a look now. So I did. I went outside and saw the statue that the Forest Guardian had been working on, and it looked amazing. This is so cool. I can't wait to see what it'll be when it's done. What do you think it'll be when it's done? Just as I was admiring his hard work on the statue, the Forest Guardian came over with some more good news.
That ain't the only thing I've made for you. Go back to the base, and you'll see another upgrade I've been working on. I think it'll come in handy with keeping an eye out for that terrible machine.
I went back to the base and saw that the Forest Guardian had transformed one of the cherry blossom trees into an awesome watchtower. It would be a perfect way to keep an eye on the forest around us and know if the Dragon Slayer 3000 was on his way. I'm starting to feel more powerful again already. I can do this thing. From day 111 to day 112, feeling more confident than before, I went back out into the cherry blossom forest to understand my surroundings better. This time, if I ran into the robot, I wouldn't run away like a scared little coward. I'd stand up for myself and fight like a real dragon. But lucky for me, I didn't run into the Dragon Slayer 3000 at all. Instead, I found my way to a cozy little cabin where a friendly old witch was waiting.
Hello there, dearie. You look a little tired from all your wandering. How about you rest here and talk with me for a little bit?
I'd love that, thank you. I'm Zozo.
So what are you doing out here, sweetheart? You are walking with a real sense of purpose.
As a matter of fact, I do have a purpose. I'm trying to get my dragon strength back so I can defeat the Dragon Slayer 3000.
Oh dear.
What's wrong?
It's just that if you're planning on going up against that metal monstrosity, I recommend you be extremely careful. You have no idea the terrible things it's capable of. There used to be many dragons around here, and not just little baby ones like you. Adult dragons at their full power. And within 100 days, the Dragon Slayer 3000 wiped them all out, one by one. You'll need to be exceptionally powerful if you want to defeat it.
Well, that sure fills me with confidence. From day 113 to day 115, I returned to the coniferous forest, wondering if there was anything valuable I'd missed during my first trip there. You can only imagine my surprise when another big, mean Vile Ogre jumped out of the woods, right in front of me. Wait, how can you be here? Didn't I defeat you before?
Oh, that was my brother. He was out here, minding his own business, and you started to fight with him.
He was literally trying to shake me down for money in a forest he didn't own. He even hit me first.
That doesn't sound like him at all. For defaming my brother's memory, you're going down, you teeny tiny little dragon.
The Vile Ogre attacked me! He fought just like his brother, but this time I was prepared. Before he could take too much health from me, I defeated him with my stone sword and leveled up. I got bigger, and my total hearts rose up to 20, and I gained back one of my most important abilities, fire breathing. I'm getting my dragon mojo back, baby! From day 116 to day 119, seeing as I'd upgraded my size and strength, I figured it was time to level up my weapons and equipment too. That's why I found my way to an underground cavern that was perfect for mining myself some extra materials, specifically some iron ore. Once I'd gathered up enough, I started building an underground furnace so I could smelt the ore into ingots and start creating all my new gear. But I was interrupted by another nasty creature living in the underground cavern, a deadly giant cave spider, and he thought I looked like a delicious dragon snack. Well, I hope you like your meals extra spicy, cave spider. I huffed, and I puffed, and I breathed a jet of flame right at the cave spider, scaring it back into the darkness. It definitely wouldn't bother me after that. Then, I used all that iron I collected to make myself an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. I was officially stronger than ever before. And one day, I'm gonna use this sword to destroy the robot that ruined my life. From day 120 to day 122, I spent one day just resting at the base, having no idea that the day after would bring me my toughest battle yet. That day started with the Guardian of the Forest waking me up in a blind panic and telling me the last thing I wanted to hear at that moment.
Zozo, Dragon Slayer 3000, he's here! He's practically outside the gates! We need to stop him before it's too late!
Oh no! I ran as quickly as I could. I hoped that I'd been dreaming for a while until I saw that the Forest Guardian was absolutely right. Dragon Slayer 3000 was standing right next to the base, carrying his battle axe.
Dragon detected. Initiate destruction methods.
Wait! Why do you want to destroy us dragons so badly? Is it something we did to you?
What you do to me is irrelevant. My programming dictates that I must destroy all dragons I detect at all costs.
Who programmed you like that anyway?
You do not need to know. Battle axe attack initiated.
Talking time was over. Dragon Slayer 3000 ran at me with his battle axe again, getting 2 strikes in before I was able to hit him back with my sword. And when I did, it didn't seem to cause much damage. I decided with the threat of getting slain right here in front of me, it was time to unleash my latest dragon power, Fire Breath. I breathed my fire at Dragon Slayer 3000, and it almost seemed to short-circuit him for a moment. He backed away, looking confused.
Dragon has accessed fire abilities. Activate contingency plan G6. Retreat mode initiated.
And with that, the Dragon Slayer 3000 fled back into the forest and out of sight. I hadn't defeated him fully this time, but somehow, after this fight, I finally understood that this monster wasn't invincible. If I kept getting stronger, I could defeat him once and for all. From day 123 to day 126, I was working on creating a weapon upgrade for my iron sword. After seeing how Dragon Slayer 3000 reacted to me using my fire breathing on him, I thought he might have some kind of weakness to fire. That's why I applied the fire aspect enchantment, which would lend extra fire damage to every single swing of my sword. This is really gonna help me out on my quest. And if you'd also like to help me out on my quest, search Zozo in the search bar to find and watch more adventures with me, Zozo. We're gonna have an awesome time! From day 127 to day 131, the Guardian of the Forest came over to share some less stressful news with me than the last time.
Zozo, I've done more work on the statue. Come check it out.
Of course, I'll be right over. I met with the Guardian outside and saw all of the amazing work he'd been doing on the statue. It looked so cool. The Guardian certainly had a real talent for building statues.
But for this next part, I need your help, Zozo. The statue is coming along nicely, but I need some ebony logs to really take it to the next level. Would you be able to journey out to the ebony forest and get me some?
I'll be there and back before you know it. That was a bit of an exaggeration, but I did travel out to the ebony forest as quickly as I could gather up the material I needed for the Forest Guardian statue. On the way there, I ran into an Enderman who really didn't like intruders entering his forest, even if they were just dropping in to grab some equipment. You better not tell me I need to pay the Enderman toll. Thankfully, some fire breath was enough to scare the Enderman away. And I was able to gather up plenty of the material the Guardian of the Forest needed to keep building and improving the statue. From day 132 to day 135, I started making my way back to the Ebony Forest, eager to give all the materials I'd gathered over to the Forest Guardian. On the way there, though, things started to get strange. I spotted a flying ghast, which is normally only seen in the Nether. What are you doing out here? The ghast obviously didn't reply. They attacked me with their ranged attack, and I replied in kind and flew up towards it and hit it with my fire breath, knocking the ghast out of the sky. It feels so good to be a dragon. As I continued my journey back towards my base, I ran into a worried-looking piglin. I stopped to see if he needed any help. Hey, little piglin, don't be afraid. You look like you need a hand. Anything I can help with?
Oh yes, thank goodness. You've really saved my bacon here. My piglet friend was kidnapped by an evoker, and his zombie minions and dragged out to the Mojave Desert. I'd go on my own, but I worry I'm not strong enough. And then we'd both be captured.
Don't worry, piglin, I'll get right on it. And with my new quest, I set off. From day 136 to day 139, I traveled until I reached the Mojave Desert. It was exhaustingly hot and dry out there, but it didn't take me long to discover a mini-base set up deep in the scorching heat of the Mojave. It was a fenced-off area surrounded by patrolling hordes of zombies. Inside the camp, a piglin was locked in a cage, and the evoker stood there, talking to him.
We'll see how much your friend cares about you, little piglin. Maybe if he comes and gives me the money we agreed to, I'll let you both go. Or maybe I'll just kidnap you both.
Please, you can't do that.
You're in my clutches, piglin. You can't tell me what I can and can't do. I'm holding all the cards here.
Watching this happen, I knew I needed to get in there and stop this. I'd free the piglin and defeat that evil evoker, and my dragon powers would help me do it. From day 140 to day 143, I launched my plan to defeat the evoker and save the piglin. Rather than fighting all the zombies gathered outside, I flew and lowered myself down into the camp from above. The evoker didn't seem happy about that.
How dare you invade my camp, you lousy dragon! Zombies, eat them alive!
Zombies inside the camp rushed towards me. I pulled out my iron sword to fight them off, but there seemed to be no end to the zombie horde. The sword isn't powerful enough to take them all, even with the fire aspect. But in the nick of time, I got lucky. I saw a Kyther lying on the ground, exactly what I needed. Don't mind if I do. I grabbed the Kyther, going crazy and taking out every zombie I could. Soon enough, there were no zombies left. It was just me, the evoker, and the trapped piglin. The evoker backed away, feeling a little nervous.
No hard feelings about me telling the zombies to eat you alive, right? That was just a prank, bro.
Instead of answering his question, I blasted him with a jet of flame. After that, I freed the piglin.
Thank you so much, kind stranger. How can I ever repay you?
Go back to your friend in the Ebony Forest. He's been worried about you. That's the only repayment I need. From day 144 to day 149, I returned back to my base and gave the Guardian of the Forest all the materials I'd collected for him in the Ebony Forest.
Thank you for these, Zozo. It took you a while to get them. Was everything okay?
Oh yeah, it was fine. Just got a little sidetracked. I'm gonna get working on some base improvements while you work on the statue.
Sounds good to me, Zozo.
I decided to work on a security perimeter wall around the base while the Guardian of the Forest was statue building. I built the wall nice and tall just to make sure it kept out potential invaders. Once I finished the construction and stood back to take in the sight of my big, powerful wall, the Guardian of the Forest approached me again with the good news.
Come take a look at the statue, Zozo. It's almost done.
So I did exactly what he said. I went to take a look at the statue and was amazed at what I saw. The Forest Guardian was clearly a statue building whiz. Can you tell what it is yet? Let me know down in the comments. From day 150 to day 153, I woke up to some more bad news. The Dragon Slayer 3000 was once again waiting right outside my base, and the Guardian of the Forest was following along. Oh no, he's kidnapped my friend! But I couldn't just chase after them, because at the exact same time, a group of husks that the evil machine must have led here were attacking my base. My anger at that monstrous robot kidnapping my friend let me fight even harder. And during my battle with the gang of husks, I got enough XP to level up and become even stronger. I got bigger. My total hearts increased up to 50. I used my newfound strength to take out the last of the husks. My base was safe, but the guardian of the forest was still gone, and I needed to save him. From day 154 to day 157, I checked around my base to make sure there weren't any holes in the walls besides the entryways. You have to keep a keen eye to make sure your walls are as sturdy as they can be. After my base was secured, I went to go meet my other ally in the Cherry Blossom Forest, the witch in her cozy cabin, to get her advice on what to do next. I sat across from her and told her about the situation.
Since you first came to me, Zozo, I've been doing some research, and I think I might have information that could help you. A few hundred years ago, there were some extremely dangerous dragons on the prowl. Some scientist working in the lush tundra created robots like the Dragon Slayer 3000. But even once those few dangerous dragons were destroyed, the machines endured. I've just never seen one this advanced before. Still, if you want to save the guardian of the forest, checking the lush tundra may be your best option. Just be careful out there.
From day 158 to day 162, knowing that my best friend was trapped in the territory of my most dangerous enemy, I needed to get better weaponry. That's why I once again returned to the underground cavern where I did my previous mining. And as usual, I had another guest while I was down there. What I wasn't expecting was for that guest to be a creeper. I panicked as it skittered towards me, ready to explode. It was terrifying, but I managed to get away just in time. Boom! The creeper exploded. If the Dragon Slayer 3000 doesn't get me, the stress of these 100 days is gonna be what finishes me off. At first, I thought this was just another one of my many near-death experiences, but these lemons came with a free side of lemonade. In the crater left by the creeper exploding, there were a bunch of diamonds. It looks like my luck is finally turning around today. I gathered up all the diamonds and forged them into a powerful diamond sword, a perfect weapon for taking on that diabolical droid. Now all I needed was the courage to actually go and do it, knowing how scary and dangerous the Dragon Slayer 3000 truly was. From day 163 to day 166, I returned back to my base with my new diamond sword, feeling frightened and worried about what I needed to do, even though my friend's life was at stake. To make myself feel a little better, I gave my diamond sword the fire aspect enchantment, just like with my old iron sword. That would make it a more effective weapon against Dragon Slayer 3000, but I was still afraid. I stood and looked at the statue that the Guardian of the Forest had created for me. It wasn't done yet, and if I didn't save the Forest Guardian, it would never be finished. It would be an eternal reminder that I'd let my friend down. I won't let you down, Forest Guardian. I'm gonna come and save you from that evil machine, no matter the risk. I'm going to the lush tundra, and I'm gonna help you. And if you want to help me, you can subscribe to Zozo and turn on notifications so you never miss another one of my exciting Minecraft adventures. From day 167 to day 170, I put my money where my mouth was and traveled all the way to the lush tundra. I searched around until I discovered what looked like an abandoned factory. This must be where Dragon Slayer 3000 was created. He probably turned it into his base when all the scientists left. If the Forest Guardian is gonna be anywhere, it's here. I ran into the building and immediately found that more hordes of husks had made their home here, just like the ones that he'd led to attack my base. I must have been getting closer. Come at me, husks. You don't stand a chance. The husks did come at me in whole swarms. With my diamond sword, I was able to cut down a lot of them, and I defeated even more with my fiery breath. There was no way I was letting any of those low-level mobs stop me from saving my friend. It wasn't long before I was standing in an empty room, having defeated all of the husks. I kept searching the building, trying to find where they might be keeping my friend. Forest Guardian, it's me, Zozo. I've come here to help you. That's when I heard a voice at the other end of a deep, dark hallway that went into the ground.
Zozo! Oh, thank goodness! I'm down here! Please, come save me!
I ran down the long hall and saw the room where the Guardian of the Forest was trapped. I didn't waste any time and busted down the bars that were holding him. I'm so glad you're safe, Forest Guardian. I don't even know why he kidnapped you. You're not even a dragon.
He's an incredibly intelligent machine, Zozo. I think he kidnapped me just because he knew that you'd come and save me. Let's go back to the base before he realizes you're in here.
No, Forest Guardian, I'm sorry. I want you to go back to the base, but I'm through with running. Keep the base safe for me. I'll come back once I've defeated this robot, once and for all.
Just be careful, Zozo. I have a feeling he's got at least one more trick up his silver sleeve.
With that, the Guardian of the Forest turned and left, and I started going deeper into the Dragon Slayer's base. From day 171 to day 174, I went deeper into the abandoned factory. While in there, I found a dusty old chest locked away in a corner. It contained two things. One was a potion of strength, and the other was a book marked Scientist's Notes. I looked through the book, and it contained the following. We witnessed an extraordinary event in the factory today. Our Dragon Slayer 2000 models seem to have gained true intelligence. In fact, they used this intelligence to construct an entirely new machine, the Dragon Slayer 3000. It's the first machine to be planned and built entirely by other machines. Whoa, that explains why this thing is so cold and cruel. The sooner I can put this rogue robot down, the better. From day 175 to day 178, now knowing of his true origin, I went far enough into the factory to discover Dragon Slayer 3000 waiting for me.
Dragon detected. Prepare for your immediate annihilation.
Funny, I was about to say the exact same thing to you. I didn't want to waste any more time talking to this evil machine. Instead, I ran in and pulled out my diamond sword. I hit the robot again and again and again, not even giving him a chance to fight back. I wanted to end it there and then. But before I could deliver the final blow, Dragon Slayer 3000 stepped away and ran into a nearby room. I went running after him as fast as I could. I'm not gonna let you get away with this anymore, Dragon Slayer. Your days of hunting us dragons are over. From day 179 to day 184, I entered the main chamber of the factory. It was large and completely abandoned, but I still saw the glowing red eye of the Dragon Slayer 3000 staring at me. But this time, I wasn't going to let him go. I defeated him and sent him running before. Now it was time to finish him off. Time for the Dragon Slayer 3000 to get slayed by a dragon. I've gotta say, Dragon Slayer, I enjoy the irony.
I wasn't programmed to have any sense of irony. It is of no use to me.
The point is, I'm going to destroy you for everything you've done to me and dragons like me. There's no place in the world for a machine like you.
Then I will have to upgrade. Activate contingency plan Z13. Metamorphosis protocol.
What? Dragon Slayer 3000 began to transform, getting bigger, scarier, and way more advanced. I'd never seen anything like it. All my confidence in the fight completely drained away in that moment.
Upgrade complete. I am now Dragon Slayer 4000, the ultimate stage of my technological evolution. My capabilities have increased, and I can now destroy even the strongest dragons. You cannot harm me, Zozo.
Oh no, I think I may have overestimated my ability here.
Destruction blast.
The new Dragon Slayer 4000 blasted an even more powerful energy weapon. I was able to dodge it in the nick of time and ran out of there as fast as I could. I need to figure something out fast or I'm doomed. From day 185 to day 189, I returned to my base in a blind panic. I immediately went up to the Guardian of the Forest.
Hello again, Zozo. Thank you again for saving me. Ready to celebrate finally defeating Dragon Slayer 3000?
Not quite. Kind of the opposite, actually. Dragon Slayer 3000 got even more powerful. He upgraded into Dragon Slayer 4000. And I don't know how I'm gonna defeat him like that.
Oh no, that's the last thing we wanted to happen. Here, take this knockback enchantment. It'll make your attacks a little more effective. I believe someone is here to see you. In the meantime, I'm gonna go finish up the statue.
Who's come to visit me? It turned out that it was none other than the witch, coming straight to my base to deliver some valuable news.
Zozo, I have something that I think you'll want to hear.
Please tell me it's good news.
Oh yes, very good news. I've tracked down something that can fast-track your leveling up. A special potion known as Dragon Serum. It will help you grow into a full-sized dragon with all the relevant special abilities. They say it ran out years ago, but I've tracked down one more bottle of it in a single chest.
That's amazing! Do you know where I can find this chest?
It's in a place you may find familiar, the Mojave Desert.
That's perfect! I'll set off right away. Stay at my base in the meantime, Miss Witch, just to be safe. But before I could leave, I heard the Guardian of the Forest calling out for me.
Before you go, Zozo, I have something to show you. The statue is finally finished.
Excited to see what the Guardian of the Forest had created, I flew up high towards the mountains next to my base to get a better view. It was amazing! A beautiful statue of a powerful adult warden dragon. It looked exactly like I did before the Dragon Slayer stole all of my power. Thank you, Forest Guardian. This is truly awesome. And when I get my hands on that dragon serum, that's gonna be me again. On day 190 to day 194, I returned once again to the Mojave Desert, where I'd defeated the Evoker and his minions and saved the piglin. If only last time I'd been looking for that chest, this whole thing might have been over a lot sooner. I searched all across the desert, feeling the intense heat on my dragon scales. Whoever had hidden that serum up here must have really wanted to keep it hidden. Eventually, I found a small chest hidden amongst a bunch of sand blocks. I opened up the chest, and inside was one item, a potion labeled Dragon Serum. Yes, I found it! I finally found it! I can become a full-size dragon, access my complete powers, and use them to even the score against Dragon Slayer 4000! With the Dragon Serum saved in my inventory, I turned and made my way back to my base. From day 195 to day 197, I worked on my final few upgrades, knowing that the battle that would decide the fate of all the dragons in the overworld would soon come to pass. And if I didn't win, Dragon Slayer 4000 might not just wipe out me, he might have wiped out my entire species. I better go in strong then. I gave my sword the Sweeping Edge enchantment to increase its power, and also crafted a full set of iron armor. This would give me a better chance in the final fight. But what if the Dragon Slayer 4000 defeats me, then immediately comes back here to attack my friends? I can't let that happen, or at the very least, I can't make it easy for him. I decided that I wasn't going to, so I built the wall around my base thicker, knowing that I'd buy the Guardian of the Forest and the Witch some time to escape if that evil robot did come looking for them. It's all or nothing now! On day 198, I prepared to leave my base and go to the lush tundra so I could take on and decommission this rogue robot once and for all. But what do you want to see next from Zozo? Search ZOZO on the search bar and leave a comment on one of our videos telling us what you'd like to see next. I always love reading through them. Oh, and wish me luck on my battle with Dragon Slayer 4000. I'm gonna need it. Time to settle that age-old debate of robot versus dragon. On day 199, I returned to the abandoned factory in the lush tundra. When I entered the main chamber of the building yet again, the Dragon Slayer 4000 was waiting for me.
Dragon detected.
Yeah, you detected me. Well done. I'm about to get a whole lot easier to detect in a second.
Attempts to intimidate me are futile, Zozo. I will be the agent of your destruction. Activate Battle Axe. Turn shields to 100%. Prepare to be destroyed.
Time for you to take your own advice, you evil bucket of bolts! Before Dragon Slayer 4000 even had a chance to attack me, I drank the Dragon Serum. In an instant, everything changed. I became a huge, powerful Warden Dragon adult with the 100 hearts I had 100 days ago. But that wasn't all. I had a new power now, the Fireball attack.
Dragon detected. Dragon detected. This does not compute.
Compute this! Summoning up every last ounce of my strength, I fired a fire blast directly at the Dragon Slayer 4000!
No!
The blast was so powerful, he was destroyed instantly! I'd reclaimed my former glory, and the dragon-hating machine was finally gone for good! On day 200, with the evil of the Dragon Slayer 4000 finally defeated, and all my fallen dragon friends avenged, I returned back to my base. There, the Guardian of the Forest and the Witch were already waiting to congratulate me. For the first time in over 100 days, I felt like my old dragon self again, and I could finally relax. Don't you just love a happy ending? On day 1, I spawned in as the Grim Reaper. Then I noticed I was tiny, and I only had 3 hearts. What is this nonsense? I looked around and saw that I was in front of a castle. Ooh, this looks interesting. I'll take a look inside. I opened the door and called out, "Anybody home?" Maybe one of my friends lived here or something. I started wandering around and found myself in a throne room. What is that? I saw a man with a mutant wither skeleton. He was holding a scythe. Wait, I think that's my scythe. How did you get it? The man screamed in rage and pointed at me.
Destroy him!
A bunch of zombies came out from the back room, and I gasped in shock. Without even thinking, I fired an icy blast that froze some of the zombies solid. Huh, that's interesting. I guess this is because I'm as cold as death. I ran out the door and down the stairs as the zombies followed me. That was not what I was expecting. And why does that guy have an army of zombies? That's not right. I I found a small cave and decided to sleep there for the night. Tomorrow, I'll find out what's going on. On day 2, I left the cave to go exploring. I walked for half a day until I found my way to the Autumn Forest. I don't really have a home, so I guess I'm gonna have to make one. I started collecting some wood to make a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. After some additional mining and crafting, I had some simple stone tools and weapons. Well, it's better than nothing. I had been working so hard all day, so when I stopped, I realized I was hungry. What does a Grim Reaper eat? I found some cows and pigs and cooked up some food for myself. It didn't do anything to help. In fact, it made me feel sick. Gross! I need to find something else. I noticed that it had gotten dark. Suddenly, a group of zombies popped out and started attacking me. With my new stone sword, I was able to take them out easily. They had dropped some meat, and I stared at it hungrily. Maybe this will help me? I ate the meat, and sure enough, my hearts were restored. I feel much better now. I made it back to my base and worked on a few more things before heading to bed. On day 3, I went back out to find more materials for the base. It was safe enough, but I wanted to make some improvements. It turned out to be a nice day. I hope nothing too crazy happens today. I realized I had spoken too soon, because just then, I heard an awful crash. I ran to see what the noise was when I saw a Dread Queen fighting a bunch of zombies. Hey, leave her be! I rushed forward with my weapons. The zombies started to attack me when I remembered my trick at the castle. I fired out some ice blasts and froze up some of those nasty zombies. The others noticed and started to run away.
Nice job, Death. It's been a minute since I've seen you. Did you shrink?
Who are you?
I'm Famine. Do you know me?
I'm sorry, no.
Oh, this must have been Lord Terror's doing. I knew he was up to no good.
I was so confused at this point. Famine could see that I was overwhelmed.
You are the Grim Reaper, or Death. I'm Famine, and we have 2 friends, War and Pestilence. We establish order in the world. But Lord Terror, as he calls himself, started messing with stuff. He's been infiltrating the villages and turning people into undead.
That's horrible. Those souls need to be freed and move on.
I thought that's what you were planning, but nobody has seen you for a while. Now I know something bad happened. You're smaller and you don't look like yourself.
This is a lot to take in. How about we get back to my base? It's not a castle, but it's safer than out here.
Sure.
Famine and I made our way back to my base, just in time for the sun to set. On days 4 to 5, I helped Famine make a little home at my base.
I was driven out of my home by the undead. I guess Lord Terror is getting more powerful as the days go on.
The house wasn't too fancy, but Famine seemed to like it, and she thanked me. No problem, anything for a friend. I went out to look for some more supplies when I saw a group of skeletons near a cave entrance. I'm Death, surely they won't want to harm me. As I approached, they seemed friendly, but then they started shooting me with their bows. Hey, we aren't enemies! Honestly, I didn't know anymore. I was just a baby after all. I used my sword to attack, and soon enough, they were all gone. Hey, what's that? I noticed a bow on the ground, and I picked it up. It had an enchantment of flame on it. Nice, this will come in handy. On days 6 to 8, well out in the forest near my base, I gathered some meat from some more cows and pigs. Famine got hungry a lot after all. I'm gonna keep working and getting stronger. Lord Terror doesn't stand a chance against me.
Is that so?
I looked, and to my surprise, it was Lord Terror. He had a few zombies around him. Let those innocent souls go. You don't have a right to keep them here. Lord Terror laughed and swung the scythe around.
I'm the Lord of Death now, Little Reaper. I won your scythe fair and square.
What are you talking about? He seemed tired of talking, so he swung at me instead. Whoa! He was fast. I tried to dodge him, but he kept getting hits in.
I beat you once. I will beat you again.
I gotta get out of here. I ran as fast as my little legs could carry me. As I did, I heard Lord Terror laughing from behind me.
That's right, Little Reaper. Run away. I will see you soon enough.
On days 9 to 10, I made it back to the base. Famine could tell I was hurt, and she tried her hardest to help me.
It's okay, Death. You will grow stronger and eventually beat Lord Terror. He's just a silly little monster trying to steal other people's things.
I felt a little bit better after our talk, but I still felt exhausted.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have a surprise for you.
She brought me outside to show me a statue she was beginning to make.
Ta-da!
It's great, Famine! Is it a tent?
No, silly. Do you really not know what it is?
I looked again. Can you tell what it is?
I also made some other upgrades while you were gone.
She showed me the lanterns and a small archery range. Wow, you've really outdone yourself.
It's the least I can do for a friend.
Famine was awesome. I was glad I was able to find her. I hoped our other friends were doing okay. I would go looking for them soon. On days 11 to 12, I had a vivid dream. I was a fully grown Grim Reaper with my scythe at my side. I was living in the castle that I had escaped from on day 1. Everything is as it should be.
Not quite.
I looked and saw Lord Terror, except he looked like a normal villager.
I believe we have a game that needs playing, Death.
With his dark powers, Lord Terror began to steal away my energy and my ability. He shapeshifted into his mutant wither skeleton self as I became a sad little baby Reaper. Ah! I woke up in horror at the nightmare I had just had. I rushed to Famine to tell her about it. She shook her head.
So that's what happened. I knew you made a deal with a dying human, but I didn't know you lost all your power in the process.
That can't be it. Why am I back, but as a baby? Why can he control the dead? Famine shook her head.
Maybe our friends know. I think it's about time we go find them.
On days 13 to 15, I went out to explore. I was hoping to find war or pestilence, but they didn't seem to be anywhere. I hope they weren't captured or anything. I realized I was back in the area where I had seen Famine for the first time. There were a bunch of zombies milling around still. I guess they just expected her to come back. Get lost! I drew my bow and defeated them one by one. I didn't realize it until now, but I was releasing their souls from their bodies. I was freeing them. Nice! I managed to release all their souls when I felt a power coursing through me. I grew in size and became an older Grim Reaper. I'm bigger and I have 30 hearts. I realized I could also now turn invisible for short periods. That'll come in handy. I can't wait to try this out later. On days 16 to 19, I found a cave and decided to mine for some more materials. This looks promising. Hopefully I can find some iron in here. As I was venturing deeper into the cave, I saw a group of skeletons standing right on top of an iron deposit. It looks like I'm gonna have to take care of that. I drew my bow. They noticed me immediately and began shooting. Come on, guys, I just need some iron. After just a few more shots, they were all gone, their bows and arrows scattered around me. I mined the iron without any more trouble and got to work. I smelted the iron into ingots with a furnace, then was able to make a new sword, pickaxe, and some other tools. Yes, things are looking up. On days 20 to 22, I started to head back to my base when I noticed I was being followed. I went invisible briefly and waited for them to approach. Then, as the figure approached, I turned visible again and jumped out.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm a friend.
He was a crimson wizard, and the red of his outfit made me think of anger, which then made me think, are you War?
In the flesh. Yeah, I thought you looked kind of different. You're, not as tall as you used to be.
I told him what happened, and he whistled.
That sounds awful. Hopefully you can get your scythe and your castle back. Those were pretty sick.
Thanks?
No problem.
I invited him back to my base, and he happily agreed.
And I thought my house was a fortress, you know, being war and all. But those pesky undead got inside and started breaking everything. So I left. Good thing I ran into you.
We were nearly to the base when we saw Famine running toward us.
Oh, hey, Famine!
She didn't even acknowledge War.
Death! Lord Terror is outside. He is threatening to take down the base. Wait, War?
Sheesh, it's like I'm invisible.
Stay here. I'll go see what he wants. If I need help, I'll call for you. War and Famine got to catching up while I approached the entrance. Sure enough, Lord Terror was there with my scythe. I believe that scythe belongs to me.
See now, little Reaper. I won this fair and square. You agreed to the terms.
I don't even remember what happened. And you're just a human. You can't beat death. That's my calling.
You're wrong. The witch gave me the ability to win this power.
Witch? Lord Terror screamed and charged at me. I dodged him and used my Ice Blast ability to try to stop him. It didn't work for some reason. What in the world? He laughed and lunged at me again. I slashed him with my new iron sword. I actually managed to hit him, and he looked at me in shock. I was about to hit him again when he slammed the scythe into the ground, pushing me back.
I'll be back to finish you off.
And with that, Lord Terror ran away.
What a coward.
I'll say.
I looked and saw War and Famine looking out from behind the trees. I did manage to wound him though, so that means I'm getting stronger.
Yeah, but you have a lot of work to do.
On days 23 to 26, I chatted with War about Lord Terror.
You definitely need some upgrades if you're gonna fight Lord Terror and beat him. I can think of a few things that might be useful to you.
Like what?
Well, you definitely need to upgrade your sword. Iron is alright, but you need some diamonds and an enchanting table to improve your attack.
Okay, where should I go? War told me all the places where I would find the supplies. It wasn't a short list. This might take a while.
You want to defeat Lord Terror and get your scythe back, right?
Of course I do.
Then get to it!
I started gathering materials for the enchanting table and managed to make one all by myself.
Good job, Death.
Thanks. If you think I'm doing a good job, be sure to join me on all my other adventures. Just search ZOZO. On days 27 to 31, I went to check on Famine. I hadn't seen her while I was gathering supplies, and I wanted to make sure she was okay. Hey, Famine, how are you liking your house?
It's great. Look what I've been working on.
She led me to the statue, which I could definitely tell was an hourglass. You've made some great progress.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite there yet. I wanted to add something special on top. It's a surprise. Could you get some white and black wool for me?
Sure. I made my way outside to find some sheep to bring back to the base. I found an abandoned village and spotted some sheep in pens. Perfect! As I went to collect them, I heard something approaching. A horde of zombies were coming toward me. They must have been the villagers that used to live here. You guys need a rest, and I'm so sorry Lord Terror is doing this to you. I used my weapons to release the souls from the undead. I was much more powerful and helped them all in just a few moments. Hopefully, you can all be at peace now. I gathered the sheep and managed to bring them all back to the base. It wasn't easy, but I knew that Famine would appreciate it. On days 32 to 35, I went to gather some more food for all of us. Pork seemed like a pretty safe bet. I know the pigs will be easy to find, but I need to wait until dark for the zombies. I decided to set up a little trap for them, and sure enough, they fell right into it.
Impressive, Death.
Who is that?
You don't recognize my voice? Shame on you, old friend.
Then I saw someone step out from behind the mushrooms. Of course I didn't notice her. She was a mushroom lord. She blended in. Pestilence.
Did you shrink?
Yeah, I shrunk. I told Pestilence what had happened, and she hissed in disapproval.
Now, why would you do that, Death? You are too clever to be outsmarted and depowered by some lowly wither skeleton.
That's the thing. I think Lord Terror cheated me. He mentioned something about a witch. I think that he somehow won because of her.
Well, the only witch I know of is Famine.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. I've heard of an apothecary that lives here in the swamp. Maybe that's who he went to.
This is great information. Pestilence agreed to take the food back to the base while I looked for the witch. Hopefully, she could give me more information about Lord Terror. On days 36 to 39, I journeyed further into the fungal patch in search of the witch. I thought for sure that I would find her, but I didn't see a house anywhere. Where in the world is she? I looked around some more when I saw a group of rabbits. They were acting kind of strange, a little too organized. Maybe they're her henchmen or something. I should follow them. Actually, they're probably just stocking up on food. How silly of me to think that they were working for the witch. Then, I noticed that the rabbits all gathered together again. They seemed to be examining each other's food. Okay, I should maybe look somewhere else. Then the rabbits all bounded toward a large mushroom and disappeared. Whoa, where did they go? I quickly followed after them, running straight toward the mushroom. On days 40 to 43, I ran through the fungal patch, chasing the rabbits. What in the world?
Intruder!
A large group of rabbits came bounding toward me.
What are you doing in Our Lady's realm? Did you have an inquiry?
Is this where the witch lives? The rabbits gasped.
You dare call her such a rude name! She is an apothecary of great renown!
Sorry, I just need answers. I don't mean her any harm.
You look like you do.
Then the rabbits started jumping at me. Hey! I didn't want to hurt them, so I just tried to swat them away as nicely as I could.
Death? What are you doing here?
I looked up to see a friendly witch.
Friends, no need to harass Death. I'm sure he has a reason for being here.
The rabbits stopped attacking me and quickly surrounded the woman. Who are you?
I'm Amelia. I wasn't expecting you for quite some time.
I'm not here to collect your soul. I just need to know why you helped Lord Terror.
Lord Terror?
He stole my power and made me regenerate. He took my scythe and is using it to keep souls captive in their undead bodies. Amelia gasped and started to shake her head.
That was Logan Turner. I gave him a potion of luck. He said he needed it in order to fulfill his last dream before he passed. I had no idea he would use it for such an awful thing.
She seemed genuinely upset.
I can't undo what's been done, but maybe this can help you.
She went inside her house and came out with a potion. What is this?
A potion of strength. You will need that in order to get your scythe back.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you again, but hopefully not for a long time.
She waved goodbye as I left her realm, returning to the swamp. On days 44 to 49, I returned to my base. Pestilence, famine, and war were having a good time together. I noticed they had improved their homes as well as the wall of the base. You've been busy.
So have you, my friend. Did you find the witch?
Apothecary, and yes, she was very nice. I told them the whole story and showed them the potion.
That'll be useful later. I'm glad you were able to find her. Probably gave her quite a scare though.
Just a little bit. We all laughed and chatted for a little bit before Famine jumped up.
Oh, come look at the statue.
I went to look and sure enough, Famine had outdone herself. On top of the hourglass was a skull that looked just like my face. Whoa, it's amazing.
You've been a great friend to us, Death. It's the least we can do.
We admired the statue together for a little while longer and then went to bed. On days 50 to 53, I woke up to a loud crash. I hurried outside to see what it was, and there were zombies everywhere. I could see Lord Terror standing on the edge of the wall. Come and fight me yourself, Logan.
Don't call me that.
He snarled at me and then swung the scythe. It nearly knocked me over, but it also knocked out some of the undead. Time to be freed, my friends. I used my iron sword on the group of undead, freeing them from their cursed bodies. It took a little while, but I eventually got them all. You can all be at peace now. Just then, I felt a pain in my back. I grew taller and gained more hearts. I looked at my back to see what the pain was and realized that I had grown dark feathery wings. Whoa, this is amazing. I flew up for a minute to survey the damage. This is gonna take some time to fix.
Death!
I looked and saw Famine and Pestilence running toward me. I lowered myself to the ground. What's wrong?
Lord Terror took war. The undead were just a distraction.
No! I slumped to the ground. I thought I could protect everyone, but Lord Terror was too clever. He needed to pay. On days 54 to 57, we all worked hard to fix the base. We gathered supplies, made the walls taller, and added extra security measures, including a small moat. After working all day, we sat down to chat about our next move.
There's no doubt that Lord Terror took war to the castle.
Why do you say that?
Oh yeah, you don't remember. There's a massive dungeon in the basement. It has cages, traps, and all sorts of things. We actually used it to meet there sometimes for brunch.
Sounds lovely.
It was. We should do it again soon.
Famine cleared her throat.
Sorry, but he'll be there for sure. There is a back entrance where we would come in. Quicker that way.
Pestilence gave me directions, and I wrote them down. I needed to find our friend before Lord Terror did something awful. But first, I needed to prepare. On days 58 to 62, I went mining for more diamonds. I needed to make some better armor and weapons for myself, since I had no idea what I might face at the castle. I wasn't having any luck, and was about to go search another cave, when I saw a glimmer just up ahead. Diamonds! I walked forward, then felt something fall on me from above. It was a huge, hairy spider, and he had brought some friends. I'm a friend, no need to hurt me. The spiders kept attacking, and I had no choice but to defend myself. Soon enough, they were all gone. Now, on to the diamonds. The deposit was actually really large, and I managed to make armor, plus a new sword and a pickaxe. Sweet! I felt just a little bit more ready to go save war. On days 63 to 66, I noticed that part of the statue had been damaged during the fight. I didn't want to finish it without war, so I just admired it with all its burns and marks. I'll save you, War. I promise.
Hello, Mr. Death, sir!
I looked and saw some of Amelia's rabbit friends gathering around me. You aren't going to jump on me again, are you?
No, sir. We need your help. Amelia has been captured by that Lord Terror man. We don't have the strength to get her back. Could you get her back?
The rabbits looked very concerned. Of course, he has my friend too. He's probably keeping them in the same place.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Death, sir.
I'll be back soon. In the meantime, you can wait here with my friends. They can help you. They agreed to stay while I rescued Amelia. This was going to be a little bit more difficult, but I was determined. And hey, if you like what you've seen so far, don't forget to subscribe. We love having you here with us. On days 67 to 70, I followed the directions to the back door entrance of the dungeon. It was hiding behind some trees and bushes. Good job me for thinking ahead. I entered quietly and made my way down, down, down. I didn't hear much for a while, so I thought I was in the clear. What was that? I turned a corner and saw a swarm of zombies blocking the hallway. They saw me and started ambling toward me. Get back! I used my wings to fly over them. I fired my ice blast at them from the air, freezing them solid. Peace, friends. I lowered myself in front of a door and opened it carefully.
Death!
It's about time you showed up.
War and Amelia were stuck in cages, and I quickly broke the bars to free them.
How did you know I was here?
Your loyal little friends told me.
They really are the best, aren't they?
Sure are. Let's get out of here. On days 71 to 74, we made our way back up toward the back door. Then I noticed a lever I hadn't seen before. It was hiding behind a pillar. I wonder what this opens.
Is that a wise idea?
It was my house. I'm sure it'll be fine. I released the lever and a trapdoor opened. I went inside and saw a chest in a small room. There's a chest.
Well, what are you waiting for? Open it.
I opened it, and inside were netherite ingots, gold, diamonds, and some other ingredients for enchanting. Wow! I climbed back up and showed War.
Hey, you can finally make that sword we've been talking about.
Right! We continued out, following the stream of daylight. On days 75 to 78, we finally made it out.
Thank goodness. I was beginning to think that Lord Terror would hold us there forever.
Not so fast.
Lord Terror came around the corner, scythe in hand.
You dare take my witch and my strongest soldier?
I am not a witch.
Then I would never fight for you.
We brandished our weapons as Lord Terror snarled.
Why won't you just die?
He swung the scythe, but I managed to dodge. I then swung my sword and hit Lord Terror. He stepped back, then swung again. He was fast, but I was an equal opponent now. I could sense his fear.
No, 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 no!
He slammed the hilt of the scythe into the ground and blasted us back. Somehow, through some dark magic, he stole my potion of strength and drank it. On days 79 to 84, we all watched in horror as Lord Terror grew and grew and grew. He was enormous.
Oh no!
We need to go. Lord Terror laughed as I picked up my friends and flew away with them. This has to end soon, or Lord Terror is going to take over everything. On days 85 to 89, we arrived safely back at my base. Famine and pestilence came running out to greet us.
Okay, you better not cry, because I'm not good at dealing with emotion.
Amelia saw her rabbits, and they all jumped for joy. It seemed like things were at least a little normal for now.
Death, come! We need to fix that sword of yours.
War took me to upgrade my sword, and then showed me how to enchant it. Wow, this will really help, War. Thanks for everything you've done.
Hey, I love conflict, but not when it involves my friends. It's the fire aspect enchantment. It'll give your sword a burning edge. This will help you to get your scythe back.
How?
Lord Terror doesn't always have the scythe with him. He likes to hang it up in the main corridor and just admire it. I heard him talking about it while we were captured.
This is great information, War.
If you can fight him off long enough to get the scythe back, that'll be the key to stopping Lord Terror for good.
I agreed and went to show my friends. They oohed and awed before Famine spoke up.
Come and see what Pestilence and I did with the help of the rabbits.
They took me over to the statue, which now had wildflowers growing all around the base. On top was the skull, now with flowers and a touch of flames. Guys, this looks awesome.
You are the Lord of Death, but we know you have a soft side.
I do like flowers. I stared at it in awe. I really did have amazing friends. On days 90 to 94, I traveled back to the castle to retrieve my scythe. If I did it while Lord Terror was unaware, surely I would be able to defeat him. As As I approached the castle, I decided to just hide next to one of the pillars inside the throne room and stake it out. I could see Lord Terror back to his normal size. Thank goodness. He was standing around, admiring the scythe. That's mine. I waited for a long time before he fell asleep. I quietly opened the door and snuck past him, grabbing the scythe from the wall. I expected to grow into my full form, but something was wrong.
Intruder!
Lord Terror started to charge at me. I brandished my new sword and smacked him backwards. He brought out another potion and drank it before charging at me. He was incredibly fast, and I could barely see him as he struck me. Oh no! My hearts were fading fast since I couldn't defend myself. I ran away, taking the scythe with me.
It won't work for you, Little Reaper. You are too late.
I didn't know what he meant, but I flew away before he had a chance to attack me again. I need to fix whatever he did to my scythe, otherwise I'm dead meat. On days 95 to 97, I brought my scythe back to the base and had War examine it.
I don't know what to tell you. It looks normal to me.
Maybe Amelia will know. I took it to her and she examined it.
This is my fault. Lord Terror forced me to make a binding spell. He is now bound to the scythe by an enchantment.
How do I break it?
I'll have to make a counterspell, but it will probably take a few days. I might even break it.
Do it. She worked tirelessly trying to fix the scythe, and I did what I could to assist her. I really need this to work. On day 98, I helped Amelia with what I could, but she said I needed to wait for the result. I made my way outside and admired our base and the statue. It had been a difficult journey so far, but I was glad that I had found my friends, made some new ones, and grown stronger. Even if my scythe didn't work, I knew that I would defeat Lord Terror somehow. Hey, we're really glad that you've been here on this journey too. Be sure to subscribe and search for Zozo for more videos. Also, comment below on what my next adventure should be. I can't wait to see what you say. On day 99, I went to look for Amelia. She looked a little discouraged.
I don't know if the spell worked. You'll need to wield it in battle to see.
Well, then I guess it's time to go fight Lord Terror.
I'm sorry about all the trouble I've caused. If it wasn't for me, none of this would have happened.
Maybe, but I'm glad it did. I got to find my old friends again, build an awesome base, and meet you. You're an awesome apothecary, Amelia.
Which? But who's keeping track? Go give him, well, you know.
I smiled as I flew off towards the castle, scythe in hand. As I landed on the steps, the door was open for me. The undead were nowhere to be seen, but Lord Terror stood on the steps, sword in hand, potion in the other.
You can't defeat me.
We'll see about that. I took my scythe and slammed the hilt into the ground, causing everything to shake. I felt a surge of power, and I was connected to my weapon again. I grew taller, my hearts increased, and my wings spanned further. You have cheated death, Logan Turner, and for that, you must pay. Lord Terror drank a potion, and he grew taller. As our weapons met, there was a brilliant burst of light.
It's not fair. I am Lord Terror, the new Grim Reaper. I earned that title.
I lifted myself into the air, letting the scythe swing down with a mighty force. You stole that title. I am the rightful Grim Reaper, and now you must move on. Lord Terror screamed before the scythe made contact, and in a burst of smoke, he was gone. On day 100, I flew back to the base triumphant and glorious in my final form. Everyone cheered as I descended, and they even tried to hug me.
You're our hero! The world is finally right again!
And that was the honest truth. On day 1, I spawned in as an elemental shark in the middle of a tropical rainforest. And before I could understand what any of that even meant, I was surrounded by a gang of terrifying fire elementals, led by a massive magma golem.
Looks like we got him, boss. The last elemental who wouldn't bend the knee for ya.
What? I feel like I'm missing something here. Everyone laughed at me for saying that, and it definitely didn't make me feel good. The magma golem was the only one who remained steely and serious.
I think I'm missing something too. I'm missing the part where you swore absolute loyal to me, Magnus, the Magma Golem, Lord of the Elementals.
Who made you Lord of the Elementals? I've never even heard of you.
I made myself the Lord, and if you don't bow to me, I'll make you into shock elemental sushi.
I think I'd rather make myself scarce. Before the magma golem or his fire elementals could attack me, I used one of my elemental powers to warp out of there and run away as fast as I could. As if this day wasn't stressful enough, as I was running away, I got incredibly hungry and didn't have any food. Could this get any worse? The only food I could find in the tropical rainforest was some apples, but it was being guarded by an angry earth elemental. Would you be down to share one of those apples with me?
No, these apples can only be enjoyed by servants of Magnus, Lord of the Elementals.
Is there anyone around here who doesn't work for this guy? I fought the earth elemental with my bare fins until I gave up and ran away. Finally, I was able to at least enjoy an apple. This is the one nice thing that's happened to me today. What's going on here? On day 2, I kept running through the tropical forest until I was convinced I'd lost the magma golem and his nasty gang of fire elementals. If there's one thing I can be sure of in this crazy, confusing world, it's that those guys are bad news. When I felt safe, I punched down one of the trees and made myself a wooden pickaxe. And with that, it wasn't hard to mine down into the ground and collect myself enough stone blocks to get started on a base. I think after all this craziness, I've really earned a roof over my head tonight. I used the stone and wood I collected to start building a base with a basic bedroom and living area, complete with a sofa and a couch. I also made myself a stone sword and a stone pickaxe. It wasn't much, but at least it was something. As long as that awful magma golem doesn't come and try to burn it down. But I soon wished I hadn't said that, because a few of the magma golem's fire elementals came blazing through the forest towards me.
You thought you could escape us, didn't you, kid? Nobody escapes Magnus or his minions. Sooner or later, you're gonna give in to his demands or be destroyed.
But why would I want to work for a guy like him? What is he even planning?
You're not important enough to know that. Come on, boys, let's torch him.
The fire elementals came for me, and I used my stone sword to fight them back until they were nothing more than ashes. I still don't understand what's happening here. What is this Magnus guy planning, and what part do I play in all of this? You better watch to the end if you want to help me find out. On day 3, I decided it was time to investigate what was going on. After all, if I didn't know the truth, I was at a disadvantage. I started exploring around the tropical rainforest until I found someone who wanted to talk to me about it, and that someone just so happened to be a scary-looking monster mushroom named Fungo. To my surprise, he was friendly. Please, Fungo, tell me about what the deal is with Magnus, the so-called Lord of the Elements. He's been hassling me ever since I spawned here.
That makes a lot of sense. You're a shock elemental, right? And as his name suggests, Magnus, the Lord of the Elementals, wants to get control of as many of the elementals as he can. And if you want to get them too, chances are the only way you're going to be able to do it is by taking the fight to him.
Defeat Magnus? Maybe if I get stronger I could do that, but why? I don't understand why he's doing this.
Well, take a seat on that log over there, buddy, 'cause that's a much longer and wilder story.
So I did as I was told and sat down, but nothing could prepare me for what I was about to hear. From day 4 to day 5, I sat down and listened to the story Fungo the Monster Mushroom told me about Magnus the Magma Golem.
First, you need to understand that golems are always created by villagers. They are not natural creatures, and as such, they are completely at odds with the natural elements of the world. But when Magnus was created, he learned to hate his own unnaturalness. He was so frustrated by it that he wanted to conquer the elements and make them work for him. One by one, he subdued the fire elementals, the earth elementals, the air elementals, and the water elementals. Through their allegiance, he may be able to control all the forces of the natural world. And in order to defeat him before he becomes too powerful, you'll need to master all 4 of the elements and gain their powers.
Oh, just like in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Wait, you've seen Avatar? Sweet, that's gonna make all of this a lot easier to understand. Be careful out there, Zozo. If you can get strong enough and gain all these powers, you can save us all. But to help with the learning process, you'll need to find a mentor.
Do you know where I can find one?
Nope. Good luck.
From day 6 to day 8, with all the new information that Fungo the monster mushroom had given me stewing around in my head, I started making my way back to my base. So, I need to find a mentor. How can I track one down? It's not like they have a directory website, but my frustration and self-pity was interrupted by seeing an innocent swamp pig being picked on by more of those evil fire elementals.
Please, guys, leave me alone. I'm just doing my daily exercise.
Little piggy's trying to exercise. Hilarious. We can help you warm up.
Oh yeah, we'll fry your bacon. These are extremely insensitive jokes, guys. Please leave me alone.
But I knew they'd never leave that poor swamp pig alone, not unless I made them. That's why I pulled out my stone sword and ran in to fight them off. Leave that innocent pig alone, you meanies! It didn't take me long to defeat them all and rescue the swamp pig from a fiery doom. Needless to say, he was relieved.
Thank you, kind stranger. I'm Sammy the swamp pig. You have done me a great kindness today, and I'll never forget it.
No problem, Sammy. I'm Zozo, by the way. Say, do you have any idea where I might find a mentor? I really need one to help me save the world.
Well, I did hear rumors about a great teacher who lived near water somewhere, but that's all I know. Still, I want to help you, Zozo. I really owe you one.
How about you come back to my base? I could really use some allies right now. I led Sammy the Swamp Pig back into my base and started building a new room in my base for him to stay in. And make sure you keep watching until the end, because the craziest parts are yet to come. From day 9 to day 10, I found a huge underground cavern in the tropical rainforest where I could search for rare materials. The deeper and darker I descended in, the more veins of iron ore I found. I mined and collected the iron ore and then constructed a furnace underground to smelt into iron ingots. Now it's time to make myself some awesome new equipment. I made a set of iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron pickaxe. And not a second too soon, as I heard something terrifying skittering around in the dark. I turned and saw a giant skulk scorpion crawling towards me, looking like it was ready to attack. And it turned out that it actually was. I tried to attack it with my iron sword, but it didn't seem to have much of an effect on the monster, which was as strong and fast as it was angry. In the end, I needed to use my location warping ability to zap out of there and run deeper into the darkness of the underground cavern. Can't see how this would ever end badly. From day 11 to day 12, all I could do was try to hide deeper in the underground cavern and hope that the skulk scorpion didn't find me down there. How am I gonna save the world from a powerful magma golem if I can't even defeat a nasty underground bug? Deep in the dark, my greatest enemy wasn't the skulk scorpion or even Magnus, the lord of the elementals. It was just pure boredom. So when I found a dusty old book, you can only imagine how relieved I was. I certainly never expected that this book would contain the secret to Magnus's rise to power. It was filled with strange Latin text, but then I opened the book to a section called the 3 Enforcers. It described 3 terrifying and powerful golems who worked for Magnus: the Bone Golem, the Diamond Golem, and the Bedrock Golem. These 3 golems were vital for keeping all the elementals in line, and if I was able to defeat all 3 of the Enforcer golems, Magnus's control over elementals would probably collapse. Now I know what I need to do. If I defeat the 3 Enforcers, defeating Magnus afterwards would be easy. But I was celebrating a little too loudly. Suddenly, a vicious fire salamander, a powerful underworld creature, ran towards me. He was a tough mob to defeat since he shot flames at me. He had something that looked like an organic turret protruding from his back. A truly bizarre and scary mob, but with the knowledge of what I needed to do fueling me, I was able to do it. And this gave me enough XP to level up, becoming a bigger, stronger elemental shark with 18 hearts and the ability to breathe fire. Looks like I've mastered 1 element, 3 to go. Keep watching to see what I evolve into next. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to my base, bigger and stronger than ever before. And when I was back, I saw that Sammy the Swamp Pig had made an awesome addition to the base while I was gone, a whole new floor. Whoa, Sammy, this room looks so cool. What exactly is it?
Look, it's a lounge area, Zozo. You need to stay relaxed if you want to be in harmony with the 4 elements.
An excellent idea, Sammy. Do you have any news on where I might be able to find the mentor I've been searching for too?
I've heard of some strange activity near a pond deep in the tropical rainforest. Maybe that has something to do with it.
On Sammy's advice, I ventured out deeper into the tropical rainforest until I found the pond and what looked like a crimson wizard waiting outside it.
Stay back, Elemental! I will not serve your master!
He fired an energy blast at me that took off a few of my hearts and prepared to fire another. Wait! You don't understand! I'm an elemental, but I don't work for Magnus. I'm trying to defeat him. I'm just looking for a mentor that will help train me to stop him.
Oh, I see. Sorry about firing an energy blast at you there, old chap. You can't be too careful these days with Magnus and his minions around.
It's okay. I understand. So, can you mentor me, Mr. Wizard?
I'm afraid that isn't my area of expertise, but I also wish to stop the diabolical Magnus. You and I can work together to make that a reality.
It never hurts to have magic on your side, I guess. Come on back to my base with me. Let's work together.
Lead the way, Elemental Shark!
I set off back towards my base with one more ally in tow. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to my base with the Crimson Wizard. Because Sammy the Swamp Pig figured I might be returning with a mentor, he'd already built a room for the Crimson Wizard. My base is practically becoming a hotel. I should start charging people.
I'd be happy to pay. This room looks wonderful.
Before you get too comfortable, Crimson Wizard, I need some advice. Do you have any idea where I should go next in my quest to master the elements and take on Magnus?
Good question, Zozo. Personally, I would suggest the Mojave Desert. To master all the elements, you must first experience them all.
That sounds like a good idea to me. Time to go. After a couple days of traveling, I'd reached the Mojave Desert and started searching around for any clues as to what I needed to do next. The last thing I expected was to run into a talking desert cat. Hey, little kitty, do you have any idea what I can do to help defeat Magnus, Lord of the Elementals?
Meow. Magnus? You mean the magma golem? I think some of his henchmen are around here, just a little further west in this very desert. Maybe go defeat them, and I'll see whatever information I can provide afterwards.
That's so convenient. Thank you, Desert Cat. From day 20 to day 22, following the cat's instructions, I went further west into the Mojave Desert. It didn't take me long to find a gang of rowdy air elementals who were just itching for a fight.
Hey, look! It's that elemental shark who defied the orders of Lord Magnus.
Yep, that's me, but I'm not here for you small fries. That'd be a waste of my time.
Small fries? Oh, buddy, you are gonna regret saying that.
They flew over to attack me, but I was ready. With my iron sword, I cut them down and defeated each one of them until I was the last one standing. Or so I thought. Turned out, one of Magnus's head enforcers, the Bone Golem, had been sneaking up behind me. I turned just as the Bone Golem hit me, taking off a shocking number of hearts. Immediately, I was fighting for my life, striking him with my iron sword, but it wasn't having any effect. He was so confident, he started throwing his own bones at me. I needed to pull out the big guns and use my elemental powers on this nasty, overgrown skeleton. Fire breath, go! I breathed a powerful jet of flames onto the Bone Golem, finally defeating him. And with that, I was a third of the way to bringing down Magnus and his empire of evil. From day 23 to day 26, I went back to tell the Desert Cat about my success. Hey, little kitty, I found those henchmen and I kicked their butts.
Meow, that's great news. Those jerks kept making crazy wind and messing up my fur. Now I can nap in peace without worrying about any air elementals bothering me.
So, what can you tell me about Magnus, and how can I defeat him?
Well, Magnus doesn't like to fight his own fights. He prefers to have his henchmen take care of that for him. So if you can defeat all of his elemental goons, he won't have anyone left to fight for him, and he'll have to face you himself.
I guess I just need to make sure I'm strong enough when the time comes.
Meow, that sounds about right. Oh, before I forget, maybe you can use this.
The cat gave me a potion of power. Thanks, I can definitely use this.
Glad to hear it. Now scram, it's my nap time, and I just found the perfect sunny spot.
You got it. I left the cat and continued walking through the desert until I found a new area. When I got there, I was jumped by some earth elementals.
Say, it's the wise guy who thinks he can defy Lord Magnus. Let's get him, boys.
Not if I get you first. Fire breath, go! I blew a blast of fire at the earth elementals and followed it up with an attack with my iron sword. Pretty soon, all but one of the earth elementals was defeated.
Wait, if you let me go, I can give you some information.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Lord Magnus's headquarters. It's guarded by earth, air, and water elementals. Is that helpful?
Yeah, get out of here. He ran away, and I took the moment of victory to drink my potion of power. When I did, I gained 24 hearts, evolving into an even bigger version of myself. And I gained the Earth ability. I can shoot an Earth charge that leaves behind a pile of dirt on the ground. Looks like I just mastered Earth. 2 down, 2 to go. From day 27 to day 31, I headed back to my base. On the way there, I passed the pond again. There was a diamond golem there, waiting for me. He attacked me, and I tried to fight back, but he was way too strong. In the end, I had to run away before he dealt me too much damage. That was a close one. I was scared he'd chase after me, but finally I made it back to my base, safe and sound.
Wow, Zozo, look at you. You're so big and strong.
Indeed, your stature is most impressive.
Thanks, guys, but I'm not done yet. I've still got 2 elements left to master, and I need to get way stronger if I'm gonna defeat Magnus.
Still, you must take time to celebrate how far you have already come. Speaking of progress, I have a sense that there is something useful to you waiting at a nearby location, the Rainbow Beach.
Then I'd better get going and see what it is. From day 32 to day 35, I traveled to the Rainbow Beach to see what the wizard might have sensed out there. I sure wish magic would be more specific. Oh well, I guess that's just how magic is. As I was looking around, I spotted an iron golem up ahead. Hey there, do you know anything about Magnus?
Don't you ever say that name to me! How dare you bring him up in my presence!
Oh wait, I didn't mean to offend you. Before I could explain, he attacked me. I drew my sword and fought back, but he was really strong. Turns out though, so was I. After fighting for a while, it became pretty clear that we were evenly matched. Please, let's stop this and just talk.
You're lucky I'm getting tired. Fine, talk.
I get the feeling you don't like Magnus much.
Don't like him? That's an understatement. We used to be best friends a long time ago. One day though, he started getting obsessed with the elements. He wanted to control them, all of them. And when I tried to argue with him, elementals think they're so great. Huh, see how great they think they are when I find a way to control every element. What's wrong with you having one specialty? All I do is iron, but you don't see me complaining. That's because you're a loser, and I don't need to spend my time with losers. If you're not with me, you're against me. He knocked me out and left. I never saw him again. Pretty soon, I started hearing about what he was getting up to, and I realized that the friend I used to know was gone. His jealousy and hunger for power turned him into a villain.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to master all the elements too, but it's so I can beat him and stop him from hurting people.
If that's true, then that is a noble goal. I wish you luck, Mr. Shark.
Thanks. The name's Zozo. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled back to the tropical rainforest. I really need to upgrade my armor. Let's see what I can find here.
If armor upgrades you do seek, then it is to me that you should speak.
Who's there? And why are you rhyming? A monster mushroom jumped out from behind a tree.
Sorry, when I get nervous I talk in rhymes. I know where you can get some upgrades. Lord Magnus's base is empty right now, and there are plenty of supplies to be found in there. It's not like he deserves them. You might as well take them.
Sounds good to me, but where's his base?
In the swamp surrounded by lava. Do me a favor though, if you see a big mean fire elemental running with a gang of other fiery jerks, would you defeat him for me? He tried to hurt me, and I'd rather he not get a chance to try again.
You got it! Thanks for the help! Following the monster mushroom's directions, I managed to make my way to the swamps and Magnus's base. From day 40 to day 43, I fought my way into Magnus's base. There was only a few wither skeleton guards, and it was easy to beat them. Then, I ran inside. Jeez, this place really suits the guy. It looks as mean as he is. I didn't have much time to look around because the diamond golem from earlier was inside. Uh-oh, this guy again. I've got to do a better job this time. I started with my fire breath, then followed it up with a sword attack. It was pretty tough, and I wasn't sure if I would be able to do it. But finally, I was able to defeat him. When the diamond golem fell, he dropped a whole bunch of diamonds. This is just what I need. Now I can go back to the base and upgrade my gear. I grabbed all the diamonds. Now I've got to get out of here before Magnus gets back. I may be a lot stronger than I used to be, but I'm still not ready to face him. Maybe with some upgraded armor and weapons though, I'll be closer to my goal. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled back to my base and got to work on upgrading my armor and weapons. Using all of the diamonds I got from that diamond golem, I was able to craft a diamond pickaxe, a diamond sword, and some diamond armor. Awesome, look at all this stuff. I feel more powerful already. Okay, back to exploring. I need to see what else I can do to improve and work toward mastering those last two elements. I headed out into the rainforest and started exploring. As I did, I came across a group of fire elementals. They didn't see me at first, but I could hear them.
You guys remember that loser mushroom that got away from us before? I think I know where we can find him and finish the job.
Nice! He was so pathetic! Let's go get him!
That's the fire elemental he was talking about. If I fight and defeat these guys, he won't have to worry about them anymore.
Wait, there's some shocky freak listening to us. That's the guy the boss told us about.
Yup, and I'm here to kick your butts. Using my new diamond sword, I was able to defeat those fire elementals in no time. This new gear sure is great. I can't wait to see the look on Magnus's face when he realizes I'm finally strong enough to take him down. But I can't get ahead of myself. I gotta focus on mastering water and air. Time to get moving. From day 50 to day 53, I traveled into the Red Rock Highlands to seek out new ways to master the elements. I feel like the Highlands can teach me air stuff, right? That seems right. Or maybe water. Is there water here? As I explored, I came across an open book lying on the ground. Inside it said, "I'm gentle enough to wash your hair, light enough to fly through the sky, strong enough to crack rocks." What am I? That doesn't make any sense. How can one thing wash hair, fly in the air, and break rocks? I don't get it. It took me a little while to think about it, but suddenly it came to me. Wait a second, it's water!
That's right, Zozo.
An earth elemental jumped out at me.
Guess you're smarter than you look. Too bad you'll never get a chance to master water because Lord Magnus sent me to take you out.
Out to dinner?
No, out of this world.
Oh no! I got my diamond sword ready and started swinging. I followed it up with some fire breath and the earth elemental crumbled. After the fight, I could feel myself getting bigger and stronger. I'm evolving again! As I got stronger, I gained more hearts. Now I have 35 of them. I also gained the Ice Blast ability. I can freeze enemies in place with this. I guess I finally mastered water. Only one more to go! From day 54 to day 57, I returned to my base. The Crimson Wizard had a surprise for me. He built some protective walls around the base while I was gone.
As a token of appreciation for letting me stay at your home rent-free, I thought I might work on our defenses a little bit.
These walls look really nice. I feel safer already. Thanks!
No problem.
Now I'm feeling pretty good, but I know I need to get stronger and master the fourth and final element. I need some help. I wonder if there's anyone who can mentor me. I looked around the base for ideas, but as awesome as my new friends were, none of them would be able to teach me about fighting. Wait a second, that iron golem I met before was really tough and cool. I should go ask him if he can help me. I returned to the place where I met the iron golem and sure enough, he was there. Hey, it's me, Zozo. Remember me?
I do. How is your quest to master the elements and defeat Magnus going?
I've got 3 out of 4 down, but I still need to get stronger. Would you train me?
Train you to take down Magnus? It would be an honor. Let's get to work, Zozo.
From day 58 to day 62, I started my training with the Iron Golem. He set up a wall of blocks for me.
You see these blocks? Break them without touching them.
I'll try my best. I used my fire breath to break the blocks.
Now try to dodge my attacks.
He ran at me and attacked, and I dodged. He had me do a bunch of different challenges and training exercises. I had to run up and down the beach, go out into the water and swim back, and test out all my new powers. By the time I was done, I was exhausted, but I also gained more strength. Sweet! This will help my sword hit even harder. But I haven't mastered air yet.
Not yet, but you've made some great progress. I'm proud of you.
Thanks for all your help. You've been a great mentor. From day 63 to day 66, I went back to my base. When I got there, I saw a group of water elementals running away from the base. What the? Oh no! They had destroyed my base and destroyed some of the walls.
Zozo, help! These miscreants kidnapped the swamp pig!
No! I was able to catch up with one of the water elementals, and I hit him with my pile of dirt. Tell me where they took my friend, or I'll hit you again!
Zoinks! Don't do that! They took the pig to Lord Magnus's base. There's a prison cell attached to it. They're gonna throw him in there.
And I've got to get over there too. No time to waste. I need to save my friend. I'd let the water elemental go and set off toward the Wailing Garth to rescue the swamp pig. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to Magnus's base on a swamp pig rescue mission. When I reached the swamps, I saw a big cage in the base, and there was the swamp pig trapped inside. Don't worry, I'll get you out of there.
Yeah, right. You'll have to go through us first.
The water elementals closed in around me, but I had a plan. Maybe I should give you guys the cold shoulder. I fired my ice blast ability at the water elementals, freezing them in place. Then I used my diamond sword to take them out one by one. The last water elemental dropped a key to the cage. Now let's get you free. I used the key to unlock the cage and let the swamp pig out.
Thank you, Zozo. I knew you'd save me.
What are friends for? Now let's get out of here before Magnus comes back. We ran back to the base together, and much to my surprise, when we got back, all the damage was fixed. Wow, who did this?
I did. I also added some guard towers so we can see threats coming if any more of Magnus's henchmen decide to attack us again.
Awesome, thank you so much. From day 71 to day 74, I wasn't sure what to do next. Can I learn about how to master air? I just don't know. Wait a second, there was that Skulk Scorpion I couldn't fight before. I bet I could beat him now. Maybe then I'll figure out what to do next. With my new plan to fight the Skulk Scorpion, I headed down into the underground cavern. Hello, Mr. Scorpion, are you down here still? Sure enough, there it was! The scorpion ran at me and tried to sting me with its stinger, but I fought back with a fire breath and my sword. Then I used my ice blast to freeze it and follow up with the sword to finish it off. I did it! I did it! Hey, look at this! There was a book on the ground. The Book of Exposition. What's it say? The answers you seek lie deeper in the cavern, but there you must face the bedrock golem. Well, who am I to argue with a random book? Let's go! From day 75 to day 78, I followed the instructions from the Book of Exposition and headed deeper into the underground cavern. There, I saw a group of earth elementals and a big bedrock golem behind them. Before I could say anything or attack, the earth elementals spotted me.
I've had enough of this clown. Why don't you just give up already?
Because what Magnus is doing is wrong, and I can't just stand by and let him get away with it.
Okay, then don't stand by. Just stand. Die.
The earth elementals rushed at me, but I was ready for them. I fought them with my diamond sword. Once they were all gone, I turned my attention to the bedrock golem. Now it's your turn. He was much tougher than the earth elementals. In fact, he was tougher than anyone else I had fought so far. I had to use all of my special abilities to knock him down and out of his misery. That was a relief, and good, because I felt myself evolving again. My hearts increased to 80, and I gained the ability Whirlwind Attack. I did it! I mastered air! I've got to tell everyone! From day 79 to day 84, I ran back to the base to deliver the good news. Hey, look! Look! I showed my friends my new evolved form and tested out my Whirlwind Attack for them.
Wow, Zozo, you're amazing!
Most impressive.
So now what should I do?
Excellent question, my friend. I believe the answers await us at the Red Rock Highlands. Shall we go there now?
Yes, let's go! From day 85 to day 89, the Crimson Wizard and I traveled to the Red Rock Highlands. Okay, we're here. Now what?
Let me see. I had hoped the Highlands would reveal the truth to me when we arrived, but it remains unclear. Perhaps we should see if we can acquire any additional items that might allow you to upgrade your gear?
Sure, why not? Together, we searched the area for cool items. I found some more diamonds and gathered them up. From day 90 to day 94, I was gathering diamonds while the Crimson Wizard headed back to the base. All of a sudden, Magnus appeared behind me.
Still haven't given up yet, I see.
Nope, and I never will. I finally mastered all the elements, and I'm coming for ya.
Oh yeah? How are you going to do that from underground?
What? What are you talking about?
The one element you haven't mastered. The element of surprise.
Magnus hit me hard, knocking my diamonds out of my hands. Then he got me again, knocking me out cold. When I woke up, I was in an underground chamber. Oh no, I'm trapped in here. What should I do? Wait a second. Magnus didn't count on me still having this iron pickaxe. I'll use it to tunnel out of here. I wasn't sure how long I'd been out, so I had to work fast and make up for lost time. I dug faster than I'd ever dug before until I broke through to the surface. Nice try, Magnus, but you can't get rid of me that easily. From day 95 to day 97, I started making my way back to my base. On the way, I was ambushed by a group of Earth elementals.
See? I told the boss burying him wouldn't work. Weeds always grow back.
I'm not a weed, I'm an elemental shark, and I'm stronger than you, and I'll prove it. I fought back, and with my mastery of all 4 elements, it didn't take long for me to beat them. I finished my fight with the whirlwind attack and blew them away. Awesome! Okay, no time to celebrate yet. I've got to get back to the base. On day 98, I finally made my way back to my base.
Zozo, where have you been?
We were worried about you.
Magnus surprised me and trapped me in an underground chamber. I had to dig myself out.
Monstrous.
That's awful.
It's okay, I'm totally fine. I made it back, and we still have time for me to use my mastery of the elements to defeat Magnus and restore peace. It's gonna be great!
You're right, Zozo. Gee, this sure has been a wild adventure.
And to see more adventures like it, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and search ZOZO!
Zozo, allow me to accompany you to Magnus's lair. There, you can finally end this nightmare for good.
On day 99, the Crimson Wizard walked with me all the way to the swamps and Magnus's base. He couldn't come with me, but I didn't want him to. It was important for me to face Magnus on my own. There, outside the base, were Earth Elementals, Air Elementals, and Water Elementals guarding it. I was pretty nervous at first because there were loads of them and they all attacked me, but I knew I could do it. I fought my way through the elemental guards, freezing them with my ice blast, burning them with my fire breath, and blowing them away with my whirlwind attack. It took a while to get through all of them, but in the end, I managed. Phew, all that fighting made me hungry. Magnus must be anticipating me because he really did gather all the remaining elementals to guard his base. Now, let me find him. On day 100, I headed into Magnus's base to finally complete my quest. He was sitting on a throne, waiting for me. I escaped your trap.
So I see. I had a feeling you might. It doesn't matter. You're going to lose.
I don't think I am. See, there's something you don't get about the elements. They require balance. They're equal. None of them are better than the others. Elements don't have lords. They're all equal and work together.
Foolish words from a foolish shark. No more talking. Let's fight.
He didn't have to tell me twice. He didn't even have to tell me once. I was already getting my sword ready. I used my dirt ability to hopefully trap him, but he dodged it. He came back at me with an attack, but I dodged it and attacked again. All of a sudden, Magnus started shaking and growing. He evolved into a bigger, stronger version of himself right before my eyes. Uh-oh, I've got to step up my game. Ice time! I used my ice ability to freeze Magnus so he wouldn't have a chance to hit me with his new evolved strength. This gave me just enough time to use all the other elements back to back. Earth, fire, air! With all my powers combined, I finally defeated Magnus! It's over! Now we can all coexist in peace again!